Well, there goes the Daverhood. Good morning, everybody. Welcome on this Saturday morning. It is July 25th, 2026, and we are doing the 1042nd episode of the Dave's Gone By Facebookio Podcastio Programmio of the stream with me, Dave Lefkowitz. That's my darling and adorable wife providing the audio in the background, the noises, the music, the sound effects and things, and all of you there giving your love, your warmth, your Saturday morning, I got nothing else to do, might as well watch this guy, feelings to me on the Dave's Gone By show. So welcome to you. I'm going to start with, I'm sure you'll be very happy I'm sharing this, a long time friend of the Daverhood. Let's make this a little bigger so I can see all my options here after sharing screen and so forth. There we go. I'm going to share my screen in a moment because a friend of the Daverhood, someone who was on our program very early, and this show has been on the air for 23 and a half years now. He's in the first or second year as our guest, and he's been back several times, a lot of times on our New Year's show telling jokes. And we also keep in touch with him as part of our Friends of the Daverhood segment to see what is up with our friend Steve the Whistler Herbst. Now, Steve, that is the nickname, his name is Steve Herbst, but gave him the nickname the Whistler for obvious reasons, because he is a competitive, serious, professional, in quotes, whistler. And every once in a while he'll send me via Facebook Messenger him performing in various things like glee clubs and stuff like that, because he's been a member of the glee club. He sings too for a long time. So here he is. I just sent this yesterday or 2 days ago. Let me share the old screenaroo with you. And now let me get to my email, which is opened up. There's Steve. I'm not sure why he's crouched in that position. But here he is. I'm going to open the audio. Why not? I mean, Les Mis is not my very, very favorite musical, but it has some beautiful songs in it, including Bring Him Home. You probably never heard it quite like this. Take it away, Steve Herbst.
Now for something totally different.
Is that a synagogue?
I just want to go.
You got to admit, the man has tone. He's got beauty in the, I was going to say voice, I don't even know what you would call it, in the mouth shape. But Steve the Whistler Herbst bringing us glee this morning on Dave's Gone By. And yeah, we're bringing it all back home, because this is what we do every Saturday morning from 9 until noonish or thereabouts. That and what we talk about and the special segments that we have on this program every single week.
I like it because you're never able to get sound when he does it live.
Oh, you know? Yes. That's right. Thank you. That is my wife reminding me that every time he appears on on our end of the year, New Year's special, he'll be with us live, and he'll want to whistle something. And we'll say, yeah, please go ahead and play some music. And then for whatever reason, Zoom or the Zoom thing that we have, no matter how I toggle it, for musician, not for musician, for serial murderers. Doesn't matter what button I push. I'll see Steve, at the camera going, and I know he's whistling where he is.
You don't really know. He could also be psyching us.
He could be faking it, as you have in bed with me for so many years. But thank you very much. But my wife is putting on a spare pair of glasses. She wears glasses. She puts on another pair of glasses so she doesn't have to see me clearly. This is what she does. But hey to Steve, and thanks for reminding us. If you've ever been on this program, a lot of people who watch are folks who have been on this show, and you're doing something, you're in a play somewhere, in a musical, you're got an album out, you've written a book, you've done something, you're going to appear somewhere, even if it's you're teaching on Zoom or whatever you're doing, let us know, because we do a segment towards the end of the program called Friends of the Daverhood, and that is specifically to catch up with people like Steve and say, hey, what's been new? Please, we'll let our viewers and our fans know if they can go see you, if they can watch you, if they can rent the movie that you're in or go see it in the theaters or something like that. But anywho, what do we have on this episode, our 1042nd episode of the Dave's Gone By show? I'm glad you asked. In fact, I'm even gladder that I asked for you. Well, wonderful, speaking of music, marvelous singer that has been on Broadway. In fact, she is a two-time, Tony nominee. She did Oklahoma, not the most recent version, the dark version with guns going off by people's heads. And also she was in On Your Toes back in the day. She's done some other Broadway shows, including, and this is the most wonderful thing, Christine Andreas was on Broadway in the Frank Wildhorn musical, The Scarlet Pimpernel. Right? And why is that so special to us?
That's when we got married.
Well, when we promised to do it. Because this was back in my wife and I have been married, my God, for 28 years. We've known each other for over 30 now. And I was a theater critic, and I was also writing for Playbill at this point. I wasn't yet running Playbill.com, but that was happening. So I was going to the theater constantly, and also dating my wife, who had an apartment in Forest Hills. I wasn't dating my wife. I was dating maybe she'll become my wife at some point. Dating my wife would be great. I wish we were dating more. We should go out on a date today. That'd be fun when you feel better, when you're not head coldy. But, so I was dating this girl that I was falling in love with, and she didn't love Broadway. It was not her thing. She liked off Broadway. She liked dark Russian plays and things like that, and Worcester Group, and I like that stuff too, but I also like the more commercial narrative things. I like nice music. So I was seeing everything because that's what I did. I would see 200 shows a year. And she would come along very, very frequent. Sometimes we'd go to the movies, sometimes we'd do other things. But it was basically about Dave's life as a theater guy in New York. And very often she would tag along because we were dating. And so I knew that on this particular date, I was going to see The Scarlet Pimpernel, the musical by the guy who had done Jekyll and Hyde, excuse me. Weird Freudian thing.
Is that maybe the producer's name?
Maybe, and then he later on did the Civil War, and he did Bonnie and Clyde and stuff like that. And Frank Wildhorn has actually been on this show. He's a friend of the Daverhood, as has Linda Eder, who was in...
I thought you said Linda Evans.
No. I've interviewed Linda Evans, but not on the program. No, Linda Eder and Christian Noel, come to think of it, who were both in Jekyll and Hyde. But the original one. So we're all set to... So I know that I'm going to Scarlet Pimpernel. And I know it's about a 2.5 hour, 2 hour, 40-minute show. It's a Broadway musical, right? And I also know we both know, it's supposed to be a surprise, not a surprise. She's gotten the ring with me. We literally went to... that was the other ring. That was...
Yes.
No, this is the wedding ring, or... Yeah. Men don't clock this stuff. men have not a romantic bone in our body unless we fake it. It's like it's a ring, we got it sometime, and then somehow we've been together for 2.5 decades. It's like, but the thing we both knew is that we would get engaged that night. We knew it was coming, and we knew, I want to propose to you on this day. Do you remember why that particular evening? Was it the anniversary of when we first met, or our first date?
She wanted to torture me with that god-awful show.
Yeah. My wife, as I say, is not a fan of Broadway musicals. You like Carousel. You brought your mom to Carousel.
Yes.
But mostly not her thing at all. But because, back in the day, she loved me, she would come to the things I was seeing, even though she hated them. So the night I'm going to ask her to marry me.
I don't know why it was that night. I don't know.
It had to be for a particular. We chose it for some reason. It might have been the anniversary of our first date or something.
Oh, maybe. I'm bad with dates in that way.
And the problem was, I knew that I didn't want to just do it on a street corner or somewhere. I was going to get it back to her apartment and pop the question. And I had the ring ready, I had the question, I had music ready to play. I was going to play an October Project song, and et cetera. But we also knew we were going to sit through the show. I can't leave an intermission. I wasn't doing that back then.
From work, so we were both hungry.
Yeah. Yes. Tell, please.
I don't remember you saying
No. And the other thing is, we knew that we knew that we wanted to eat because we didn't want to be miserable on an empty stomach after a 2.5-hour Broadway show, and because you were coming from where I was coming, we didn't have time to eat beforehand.
Yeah, we had work.
So we go to the show, and it's got some good stuff. It's got some bad stuff. Not my favorite musical. In fact, Wild Horn kept tinkering with it. There were like 4 versions of Scarlet Pimpernel on Broadway by the time it closed. It was like, well, we can make it a little better. We can shorten it here. He didn't shorten it the night I saw it. That's our first week of performances or after previews, what do you call the press dates.
Yeah.
And so we're sitting there, and I'm enjoying it to a point. But then after it starts going past 10 o'clock, I'm thinking, every minute that the show is going on, I'm like, we have to get food. Then we got to get on the subway. We got to get from the subway to our apartment. I got to get ready. We got to go into bed before midnight because somehow these things matter.
I don't know why we picked the day we did. Do you recall?
I don't. No, I really, really don't.
Okay.
And so finally, Scarlet Pimpernel finishes. My wife-to-be is miserable. I'm just happy to okay, yeah, the bows. You're great. Among the people who were great, Christine Andreas, she's in the show. And then there's a gang out of Scarlet Pimpernel, and we're running. We get to now. Did we get the chicken wings at Forest Hills, or we get them in New York?
It was like a TGIF in Forest Hills.
It was in Forest Hills.
It was like a TGIF or I think one of those.
Now, do you remember, did we take the LIRR or the subway?
I don't know.
We probably jumped on the subway because we would have been right near the theater and gone down to the E.
It's just more easy to get on, yeah.
But the problem, of course, with the subway is whereas the LIRR takes about 20 minutes or 15 to go from 32nd Street down to the Forest Hill Station, the E train, the subway, takes about 45 minutes to go from, I guess, the station we were, which might have been 50th or 42nd Street, all the way again to Forest. We jump off the train at Forest Hills. We're starving. Right? We don't want to be cranky when we're pledging our forever troth to each other. I'm serious. And so we run. It was like chicken wing. Was it TGIF? That's what we did. And the irony, of course, is that eventually my wife became a vegetarian. Then she would never eat. She'd cut out meat. She'd cut out chicken. But back then we ate everything, right? And I'm a vacuum.
We could metabolize.
Yeah. So we grab chicken wings. Num. I think we eat them at home.
Yes.
Guess what we did? We bring them home. And so we grab these wings. We get back to our apartment, which is about a 10-minute walk from Forest Hill Station. I think it was Gesundheit back in the day, and we're wolfing. They're tasty, but they're already getting a little cold because between the restaurant and but we're I'm like covered with grease and with Kentucky Fried sort of stuff on us. And I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna ask you to marry me. We run into the bedroom. I put on the music. I tear off my clothes because I wanted to do it like naked, like two naked people coming into the world. And I think at about, 10 to 12? We made it with 10 minutes to spare. Which again is another ironic thing because whenever my wife has an appointment, she has to get there very early, like
early.
half an hour. If she's 15 minutes early to an appointment, it's late to her. To me, if we get to an appointment 3 minutes early, I'm like, 3 minutes, no sweat, we're early. I could have taken another stop at the bathroom. We would have had time, right? So, but we had about our 10 minutes on our clock. We did it. Amazingly enough, she said yes. In fact, you remember you even had a thing, and it's somewhere in my drawer, where you pre-recorded you saying yes, 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 yes. I remember that. I'll never forget that. You press the button, and it's like, yes, 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 yes. So you had it ready, just in case the chicken gave you salmonella or something, and you couldn't talk. I was like, ma'am, will you marry me? Almost such a name. Will you marry me? And in case of course,
You might have been talking to the conductor on the train.
It was actually the guy serving us the wings. If the wings had been really, really good, I would have been like, free food for Dave for life if I marry you. And you said yes, 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 yes. And that was it. And then we were officially official. And I brought you home to Mom and Pop. And we, what was it, another year later, a year and a half? I think it was a year and a half since we first dated.
We got married very quickly and everybody thought I was knocked up.
Right.
But I wasn't. We just got married because...
So I was knocked up. Go figure.
No, because we were buying a house together and then everybody's like, your family was like, you have to be married if I have to buy a house.
Well, I know it helped to buy a house with our incomes and whatever. No, at that point I did have an income because I was working. Yeah. So it all worked out well in the end, and it didn't really all start with a Scarlet Pimpernel, but.
And where did we get our wedding rings? What was that store like?
Well, this was in the village, right? It was
it's like it's dungeon.
Well, yeah, it was a gay-owned jewelry shop, a jewelry craftsman artisan. He wasn't just reselling jewelry; he was making the stuff.
Yeah.
And you said he made stuff for what?
No, next door was a dungeon.
Oh yeah, it was next door. It was the village, and next door you had the costume and the zipper masks for leathermen and stuff like that. And right next door was this jewelry shop that made you a beautiful, beautiful ring. And yeah, we were all set. And I mean, it's just amazing that we got married so long ago, and this show is quote unquote only 23 and a half years. It feels like I've been doing this show for a million years.
What made you start it? When did you start it? What was your impetus to start the show?
To start Dave's Gone By?
What made you want to start? You started on terrestrial radio.
Well, it's another honest to God, it's another Playbill story. It's another Playbill.com story. It's not a happy memory for me, but
Was it because if they had a show, you wanted to do a show like them?
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell the story. I don't care. It's 25 years later now. When I was working at Playbill.com, I was their head. First, I was their head writer, and then I became their managing editor for a few years. But then the publisher there was making a deal with this nascent thing, this thing that nobody even knew would work or would happen, called Sirius Radio. And they were going to put a freaking satellite up in the air and bounce it around. It would be international or national radio from this one hub that was conducted not over the FM or the AM airwaves, but satellite. It was really exciting. It was an amazing idea. It was prohibitively, ridiculously expensive. Nobody figured they'd ever pay their bills. But while it was happening, it seemed like, whoa, let's get in on this. So the publisher did, and they were talking about having a theater show, a Playbill theater show on Sirius Radio, Sirius satellite radio. And I was like, please, I want in, let me, so I go visit the guy at Sirius to talk about what it might be, and he's like very dismissive of me, and I was like, can I use your facilities to make a demo, to do the first sample pilot edition of the show? And he's like, no, come in with one. So now I'm running around the fucking Manhattan trying to rent a a studio to do it. I'm going into recording studios for bands and punk bands on like 38th Street, whatever. Mostly I end up doing it at home, and it sounds like it. And I think I put together a pretty reasonable, like 25-minute thing of a mix of news and Broadway trivia. So a lot of the stuff that I do on Inside Broadway, so, on this show for years, or that I do on our Tony shows, I tried to do in the context of just slamming together something on the understanding that we'll take this idea, I'll run with it, and this will be my other thing besides writing for Play. Ultimately, didn't happen. They kind of, I guess the publisher wanted me to be a writer and not a voice or a front face for the company. Later on, he ended up getting our great friend of the Daverhood, Robert Viagas, to do it. And it was Robert's baby. And he ran with it and hosted the SiriusXM show for a few years and did it very well. And meanwhile, Seth Rudetsky was there. It's sort of like, somehow I was not good enough for Sirius Radio. And it also started a rift with me and Playbill, where I was suddenly like, this opportunity that seemed to be mine was snatched away from me. And that made me so mad and so resentful and so hurt. So for various reasons, that among them, I ended up leaving the company about a year and a half later, quitting. I was not fired. I had enough. I quit. Yeah. And then one of the first things I wanted to do after I quit is I'm going to fucking, I can't host a radio show. I've been on WFUV. Yeah. I've guested on WKCR. I've done this. I've done, I can do a radio program. And it doesn't have to be just theater. It's going to be me being me, funny me, kooky me, creative me, theater me as well. And within a few months after I quit my day job, which was actually a pretty stupid thing to do, but I didn't realize it at the time. What was that? I did, I started planning out my show weeks before I even went on the air the first time. I was working on it. I was thinking, what will it be? I started scripting and doing.
Is it similar to what you first planned, or is it different now? Is it a different show, or is it similar?
That's a wonderful question. And I think
it's less Broadway than it used to be.
Of course. I mean, for the years we lived in New York, it was Broadway every week. I would review shows. I would do Broadway news, all that. Then we moved to Colorado, and I would only do Broadway, a couple of times a year when I go to New York again and see a bunch of shows. Now I hardly see anything. And so when I see something, I revive Inside Broadway. And of course I talk to a lot of Broadway people.
Yeah, you have the Broadway performers.
Yeah. And I do the Tony show every year. So that keeps my hand in to an extent. But if you're asking if it's so different, first of all, remember that for the first, 10 years of this program, we were either an hour long or 90 minutes.
Really?
That was it. We were, first,
really?
Oh yeah. We were on from 11 until midnight Sunday nights. Or maybe it was in 10 to 11. But I think it was 11 to midnight. Sunday evenings, 57 minutes, because we're going to leave 3 minutes for ads.
I thought it was much longer. It was like
we didn't start doing that until Colorado.
Really?
Honest to God.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Now, there were times when we were...
That's surprising.
Yeah.
I'm very surprised by that.
Oh, no. The only thing that would happen was when we were at WGBB.
Like an overnight or something,
Yeah.
right?
If we were on the air from 11 to 12 on a Sunday night, and the gospel people didn't come in, which was half the time, I would be on the air. Sometimes my good friend Jeff Goodman was with me. And then we would just be like, I'm not leaving. Why am I going to throw a switch and throw to Chinese radio? I'm here. We're live. We're having fun. My dad would call in.
I remember he
Yeah.
was Insomniac, right?
So our hour show would go to like 2-3 hours.
Insomniac, or just like up late?
No, he was just up. He wasn't working. He didn't have to be up in the morning. So he'd be up. He'd call me. Now, he wouldn't be on with us until 2 a.m. And sometimes, he'd be on about 12:30 and start, Dave, I've got to fall. I'm falling asleep.
Yeah.
So, love you, Dad, night. And then, and the great thing was Jeff was with me. And Jeff, he was working stuff and doing things. He would start falling asleep in the studio. And I'm there, I'm like at the microphone, like I'm here. And Jeff has to drive me frickin' home because I didn't have a car at that point.
Let him nap.
So this show has gone through all permutations.
Yeah.
But if you look at the kinds of things that we're doing,
It's the same style?
Yeah, I did more sketches then because I had more access to engineers at WGBB who would help me.
I liked when you reenacted your birth. I
Right.
thought that was
But Joe Salzone or Jeff Goodman would take a part in a skit, so I write a skit out as opposed to doing all these monologue-y things. Rabbi Sol would appear, but he wasn't codified into rabbinical reflections yet. He just
no.
but they were essentially rabbinical reflections. They were. They were written out. They just weren't branded. Yes, they weren't branded yet. We did Colorado Limerick didn't come until much, much later.
Well, you weren't in Colorado.
Exactly. Well, right, exactly. We did the news gone by. We did that from very, very early on.
Yeah.
And that is kind of like Non-Greeley Times.
Yeah.
I mean, there I would just do like Weekend Update and write out the news and make jokes about them.
Yeah.
Non-Greeley is just grabbing the news and making fun of it, but it's written by other people.
It's similar. You're right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's interesting.
And we would have guests. The first couple of years of Dave's Gone By was not guest heavy at all. I had an hour.
Was he your guest?
Let me see. Oh, is that him? Is that? We will talk about this. This is going to be part of the show later. There he is. If you've been alive at all this week, you know who that is. There he goes. There he goes. Yeah. Jimothy, the misshapen raccoon. Stop. Yeah. So, yeah, if you're asking what's going to be on this particular episode, our 1042nd episode of the show, it's both typical and atypical, as we always do. So, I just showed you an image and video of a raccoon. A raccoon that the whole world has named Jimothy. And the special thing about Jimothy, as you saw, is he's not this typical normal raccoon. He has this spinal condition, apparently genetic, and there are animals all over the world, dogs, who have this condition too, where their spine is compressed, so it gives them a very rounded back, and he also has this foreshortened tail. So he looks kind of goofy and funny, and it's like he has extra long arms, but he gets around. He does what he does. And people are like, well, isn't that the most adorable thing? Yeah, he's making do the way he is, even though he's really a freak of nature, right? So all that was out of no, you know what Jimothy is 2 weeks ago, but the virality of this thing. I mean, we talk about. I've been listening in the car to Malcolm Gladwell's The Tipping Point. This idea of something that nobody knows, and then one or two influencers just luck into something or connectors, and within no time at all, the whole world knows.
Yes.
Jimothy was like even people who don't spend all day, like teenagers. What?
Dr. Jimothy.
Doctor. Oh, that's right. Dr. Jim. I mean, within hours, this thing went from a strange sight in someone's yard to millions of people knowing and loving Jimothy, people making Jimothy tchotchkes and shirts and painting Jimothy on the wall, and just people getting tattoos of this raccoon. It's rather amazing. We're going to mention that in our Elsewhere segment, but we'll also, speaking of Rabbi Sol Solomon, we have, what is this? Is this a back album cover? All right.
No, it relates to what you took in.
All right, hold on. But I want to, speaking of Jimothy, Rabbi Sol Solomon, he will be here doing several things this show. As I mentioned, Christine Andreas. I never really got to the point of saying she's going to be a guest on this episode of the show. Christine Andreas, the two-time Broadway nominee who was in The Scarlet Pimpernel, she is going to be appearing.
Tony nominee?
Two-time Tony nominee.
Wow.
She's going to be appearing. Let me see her. It is this. When is it? Or is it next weekend? Where is she?
Is she appearing with Jimothy?
It's the 30th and the 31st. So it's next weekend,
this coming weekend
at 54 Below.
Yeah.
So go see her. She's going to be with Rabbi Sol and a special appearance by her husband, who is her musical director also, Martin Silvestri. So they will be both talking to Sol. That's going to be a lot of fun. Don't miss it. So Sol is doing that. Sol is also going to be talking about Jimothy. He has a new rabbinical reflection, number 212. Can you believe he's done 212 sermons since we've been on this show? Sol is going to make the point, he's going to make the case, not of the beauty and the wonder of something like Jimothy, but what Jews can learn from him. Yeah.
This is him as the baby, his mother holding him, teaching him how to walk.
All right, this is, it's got to be AI then, but here we
No,
go.
the mother's in front, see? Look, they're teaching him how to walk.
How would they, first of all, have they even known this is Jimothy or taken footage of that? That's, I don't know, I don't buy it. I don't trust it. I just don't. So, Rabbi Sol doing all that, talking about Jimothy, interviewing Christine Andreas and Martin Silvestri, and story time. He will be reading, "Have you filled your bucket today?" as part of story time. Ladies and gentlemen, have you filled your bucket today? All of that on this episode of the Dave's Gone By program. Plus,
Wait a second.
what we got now? All of this on this edition of Dave's Gone By on July 25th, 2026. Oh yeah, our great friend, Dr. Sue. Why is it playing that music? I think she's trying to talk to us. Dr. Sue Horowitz, she used to play our trivia game. We haven't done our trivia in about 2 or 3 years, but she used to be a part and parcel of our trivia. Dr. Sue Horowitz, and it looks like she's doing great also. Anyway, if that weren't enough for an amazing episode of the Dave's Gone By show, that you're lucky enough and blessed enough to be watching on this Saturday morning or whenever you're watching it later on, we'll have Greeley Times. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, except it's not, no, I keep reading it wrong. It's Non-Greeley Times now. Weird, ridiculous news from all over the country, all over the world. We share it with you and make fun of it. So we've got Non-Greeley Times. Speaking of Colorado, of course, we have a Colorado Limerick of the Damned. And this week we will be going to Cornish, Colorado. It means that's a real place. It's a populated place in the state of Colorado. And I've written a poem about it, as I have done for more than 400 other places in the beautiful state of Cornish, Colorado. I guess we're going to have a hen party. Is there more on this episode of the show? I hear you ask. Is there more on this? One more thing, ladies and gentlemen. I worked on this all week. I'm very, very, well, pride doesn't really come into it, but for some reason this summer, maybe because I've had more time than usual, for the spring and summer, I've written more song parodies again. Almost every week or every 2 or 3 weeks, I've just been coming up with another song to share with you, for better or worse. If you were with us last week, I'm going to talk about that in a moment. You know, that I did a Taylor Swift parody, and now we're back to Beatles parodies. I've written more of those over the years than any other group or artist that I've thought of parodying, and I've done it again, my friends. So we're going to go back to Beatledom for the new song, "I'm Gonna Use That Girl," which is based on the classic Lennon-McCartney tune, "You're Gonna Lose That Girl." And it was fun writing it. Even more fun recording. I'm starting to do like more harmonies and double tracking and working with pitch. And it still sounds terrible, but terrible in a beautiful way. So I'm going to use that girl on Dave's Gone By. All of that coming up on this program. Now, I did mention this is one of those weird ass moments. One of those weird things of like, no, this is too weird to be happening, and yet it happened. So last week, as our song parody, and it took me about 2-3 weeks to finish this damn one, because it doesn't seem complicated, but at least for me it was. I did a song parody of Taylor Swift's The Fate of Ophelia. It's the opening track on her most recent album for newlywed Taylor Swift, her album Life of a Showgirl. And it's a very catchy number, but it's a lot more complicated than you think. It's got like all these little different melodies that build into the chorus and so forth. And as I was lying there one evening trying to get to sleep, and boop, I realized that Ophelia rhymes very, very well with hemophilia. Yeah. Could have picked some other ones. Not so much mesothelioma, not so much some of the, but I could have. Drosophila, if I wanted to write about flies. But I was like, okay, I've got to write this. It's too good. I can't pass this up. Even though there's not a lot of rhyme words and not a lot of things about hemophilia that you can work with in terms of words that you can plug in and talk about and joke about and stuff. So it took me about a week to finally write the damn song. And then after that, figuring out how to record it and sing it and I mean, the great thing now about YouTube is that almost every song ever written, not only do they have the song on there, but they have versions where the vocals are stripped from the original song. It's not even just somebody playing piano karaoke. It's the song with the regular backing, but they've removed the vocals so you can sing over it. And I did, and it just took, but I finally got her done. And then I was ready to play it last week on Dave's Gone By. I played The Pain of Hemophilia.
You did.
And posted it on Facebook and posted it on all these other places. That was on Saturday. That was last Saturday. The next day, my wife and I are shopping in Hunt Valley.
Take a picture?
Oh, I didn't take a picture. I wanted to take a picture, but I didn't. My wife and I are shopping in Hunt Valley, which is this commercial sort of area a few miles from where we live. And they have a Marshall's there and a Home Goods, and they've got a Mission Barbecue. And a Wegmans. That's the big once-a-week supermarket thing that we go to get our main provisions. And then during the week, we go to a place called Mom's for our more organic-y, vegetable-y stuff. So we're at and we almost always go on Sundays. So if you're looking to assassinate me, you'll find me at Hunt Valley Wegmans pretty much every Sunday in the late morning. Just FYI. If you wanted to kill me for things I've said about women, things I've said about Israel or not Israel or Palestine, or things I've said about gays, if there are people waiting in a line to blow my head off, you can leave my wife out of it. She'll be over by picking lettuce. I'll be somewhere else in the store. I'll be by the meat section. That's where you can usually. I'll be either at the meat or picking out muffins. You'll see me. I'm bold. You know what I look like. Kill me there, right? So we're there. And it's when we first come in, and we're checking out the blueberries. This is before we stopped eating blueberries because of the frickin' cyclospora, which apparently is getting much worse.
Look it up. I think it's now in parsley.
Parsley?
I'm not shitting you.
And
where is cyclospora outbreak?
I just remember reading something this morning saying that it's not only is it not going away, it might be, or it could be just the news trying to scare the shit out of us, which is the purpose of news. And cyclospora should scare the shit out of you because you have diarrhea for a week and a half. But I'm there. My wife is there. And this is what killed me. You were in the bathroom because you really had to go to the bathroom when we first came into Wegmans. And I'm over there by the grapes and by the blueberries and the watermelons and things like that. And I see a woman there. And I see her shirt. She's got a dark T-shirt on. Larger woman, a dark T-shirt. Big white letters. Got hemophilia? And the back of her shirt had like, I have hemophilia.com or I've got hemophilia.com.
Yes.
And I was like, because any other day it would just be a weird shirt to wear, but you feel like, oh, okay, she's got good, bringing attention to the thing. But literally the day after, out of nowhere, I did. It's not like this was National Hemophilia Month or something.
It's not common.
And so I do this song, and within 24 hours, there I am at a supermarket, and there's a woman wearing a T-shirt that says, "Got hemophilia," which is like basically a lyric in the song. I've got hemophilia. And now I'm script because I want to take a picture of her, but it's kind of inappropriate to just whip out your camera to someone in a Wegmans and just say, either surreptitiously do it without her looking, and then if she sees you, it's going to be a what the fuck moment, or going up to ask her and say, "Do you mind if I love your T-shirt, I want to remember that."
She might like it
Yeah.
because it might support her cause, right?
And meanwhile, all this time I'm also looking back towards the bathroom, praying that you'll get back in time so I can say, "Huh, she's wearing a shirt!"
You made me follow the woman. It was very uncomfortable.
Yeah, and then you get out of the bathroom, the woman, she's moved past the
And
mushrooms.
you're hustling me through, going to find this woman. I was like, oh, God.
But we found, you saw, so you can, confirm, you were a witness that the day after my hemophilia song played, there was a woman, and I almost wondered if oh Jesus Christ, there's someone who was listening to the show, got offended by the song. It wasn't really meant to be offensive to hemophiliacs, it was just making fun of the condition.
I think maybe she felt proud enough to wear it.
Yeah.
Maybe she felt she could out herself. She didn't have to hide.
Yeah, but my song did that.
Yes, it did.
She was listening to Dave's Gone By. She heard me sing a funny song about hemophiliacs, and boom, there she was. I don't know, but it was just not a deja vu moment. It was a Twilight Zone-y, like, woo! And it was a real life thing of...
It's not a common disease to have a T-shirt about.
No, not at all. And the website on the bottom of the T, and it was the equivalent and much more weird and much more rare than what we've now become used to is if we're talking about something near our telephones.
On the Facebook, yeah.
And then you're not even look. You're not even searching. You're not even Google searching.
What I showed you was the huge album cover of a guy with like vegetables that were like giganticized.
Yeah, yeah.
You have your little cucumber.
I do. I beg your pardon.
Your little cucumber.
I brought it up. Where is it?
I don't see it. It was on the tray.
Oh, it's probably still on the tray in the other room.
Maybe after your guest appears, you could show them later.
I'll show our wonderful Jimothy cucumber that we grew last week. We don't have any.
It's called Jimothy.
Kimothy.
What's the
Kimothy. Kimothy. Oh.
Oh, Jimothy, the best cucumber we did see.
And the amazing thing is that it's been now 2 weeks. Well, he grew 3 weeks ago. We should have cut him when he was still green. Now he's all yellow. And we should have eaten him last week. So now he's just getting more and more yellow.
I'll look and see if I could fetch it.
Oh, it's in the bathroom. I'm telling you. If I brought it up,
I'll fetch it.
it's in the bathroom. The thing about our weird cucumber is that we haven't had any other vegetables on that plant sit. You figure you get a plant and if it's starting to grow fruit, well, here's the first one, and then there's going to be a dozen more cucumbers.
1 year.
It's not?
No.
Oh, Kimothy. Kimothy.
Did somebody steal it?
Where am you?
He's not in the bathroom and he's not in the bedroom.
Maybe I left him on the tray downstairs.
I don't think I'm going to be okay going down the stairs.
No. I'll get him later. I will find him. Our beautiful
Do you think
cucumber.
he has his own social media site now and he's famous?
You know, if Jimothy can be famous, if
You should take a picture and post it.
Punch the
Wait,
Monkey.
you have a picture of it.
I did take a picture when he still had most of his tail. Because the cucumber, it was bulbous, and then it tapered off into like literally like a beaver's tail on the end of it. So very messed up. It might be on my phone. Probably is on my phone rather than yours. Oh, you are looking at my phone.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
It would have been fairly recent. Would have been in the last 3 weeks.
Here.
I didn't take that many pictures. Oh, you found it, yeah.
It's a glamour shot.
Here. This is Jimothy when he was still on the plant
No,
and
not
still
Jimothy.
green. Oh, I'm sorry, Kimothy.
Jimothy.
When he was on our
Jimothy.
planting our back. I mean, he looks beautiful there, actually. But what you can't see.
Everybody looks better on social media, you know.
I know, exactly. But the weird thing is, okay, so it grew one messed up cucumber. There's no other cucumbers on the vine. We've got a tomato plant next to it. It's got one tiny. It's like the size of a pea.
I think Fiddle Faddle's eating it.
I don't think so. I don't think he's been up there. And Fiddle Faddle is our groundhog. We actually do have a groundhog on our property. He lives under our shed. We've talked about this. I love him. My wife despises him.
He's the devil.
Because he hasn't, thank God, eaten into the shed.
He's the devil.
But the shed sits on rocks.
No pictures of him. That's funny.
Really? Oh, no. On my phone, I do, I think.
I don't have any. I'm looking.
Well, no, why would you? Give me a sec. I think I have pictures of Jim, of what we call Fiddle Faddle on our... Well, there's pictures of... I'll do this. I know how exciting it is for all of you at home to be waiting to... Is that him? No, this is deer. We do get deer in the backyard. But where's Faddle? This is already going... Oh, wait. It just looks like a gray lump.
Well, that's what he is.
Here he is.
He's the Satan spawn of Fiddle Faddles.
That's our groundhog coming out from under our shed and plotzing out there on our lawn. The cutest thing that he does is there's a rock by the shed. I can show you that. And he's turned that into his little sun porch. Yes. So he will stretch himself out, you can see that, on the rock and just like lie there, half of his body on the rock, half of his body on the ground. And that's his play date. When he's not out munching our grass and doing whatever else groundhogs do to the grass and eating our weeds and things and giving my wife something to scream at. It's like, you have frustration, you have rage at the world, at your condition, and sometimes you'll take it out on me, but now you have a place where you can just open the door and scream at our groundhog. And like, go under the shed. Go to your home.
No, I tell
what do you
him,
say?
I say, go to your hole.
Go to your hole.
Go to your hole, and then he looks at me. I say, in your hole, and then he goes in the hole.
Yeah. The hole under our shed.
And sometimes I let him on the rock, but he knows better.
So, we have our groundhog, we have our deer visiting, and we have our messed up cucumber. I guess he's downstairs. I was sure I had him
Maybe you put him down for breakfast on the tray. I don't see it in either place it would be.
Yeah. Oh, well. And he's not on the floor here.
No, there's nothing here, David. Maybe I just don't see it.
No, I don't see it either. But that's, as a cliffhanger, ladies and gentlemen. Sometime before the end of the show, I'm going to show you the latest iteration of our deformed cucumber. And, and you can see that it's gotten much more yellow than it was last week. And the thing is, I would have eaten it last week, but we've been making plans to perhaps see the woman that my wife knows, who works where my wife works, and brought us the plant. She gave my wife the tomato plant, the cucumber plant, the two different tomato plants. And so she's really entitled to see the fruits of our land, because we had to go to, not Home Depot, what's the place? We went to Lowe's and bought soil, and we went to our next door neighbor and bought these giant pots, all to get one stupid, inedible friggin' cucumber.
The plants are pretty.
I love looking at the plants. That's the real compensation, because there ain't no edible food coming out of this. Not one bit. I was going to ask our neighbor for mulch. I was like, the hell with it. And just like something grew on it. It's screwed up just like everything else that I try to do. And but here it is. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, what's happening? Oh my God, it's like 10 to 10 already, Eastern time in the Daverhood. But that's the one major thing I had down here. The only other thing that we did this week is 2 weeks ago, we joined our local Y, or a local YMCA. YMCA, which I was kind of dreading. I mean, I had no real desire, because they're crowded and they're huge, they've been around, and it's YMCA, and I'm a Yimha. Right? I'm an Omaha. I'm an old man's Hebrew Association guy.
You're an Omaha?
I'm Omaha, right, yeah, wow. Omaha, right? But it's been good. It's really good. They have classes, they have stuff, and you have a trainer that you're working with, and I just like to go into the gym and pick up 1 pound weights and go, And they have a pool, a quite wonderful pool. And even better than the wonderful pool is the family pool next to it.
Yeah, I forgot.
Because the pool that they do have, because I guess they do diving lessons there, this does not, I'm a fan of this, but the pool is a nice size beginning to end lap pool, and it goes from about 4.5 feet,
Wow.
or you're getting about 3 feet, 4.5 feet, 5 feet.
When you get in the pool first, is your head above water?
Yeah, when you're getting into the adult pool.
Where does it get? 6 foot would be scary to me too.
Exactly.
You're above water.
This pool goes almost immediately from 5 feet halfway through to 8 feet. And 8 feet, I'm not, I did when I was learning to swim or swim classes, but I'm not comfortable, nor should I be. I can swim.
Why do they make swimming pools go up to 8 feet?
Yeah. Gotta be for diving. What is she saying?
Why? What's the reason that a pool in a Y is up to 8 feet? Safe diving.
Diving, yeah. You need, if you're on a diving board, because I remember in gym, we took diving lessons, like in high school gym, and you have to, because you're
going to hit the floor.
Yeah. So I get it, but I don't like it if I'm just there to
Swim.
paddle in the water, swim a little bit, just hang and breathe. Because honestly, even at a little over 4.5 feet, I'm already, I'm kind of bouncing in the water just when I first get in. Because I'm 5 foot frickin' 2. So they have this other pool.
Wear heels.
I should.
Wear cowboy boots.
I should wear my cha-cha heels in the pool. But they actually have a pool next to a big pool where it's for families. And so it starts at 1 foot.
Oh wow, that's great.
Goes to 3 foot.
I thought it started at 4.
No. The little baby pool you can get in, and it's cordoned off. So you have half of the pool that stays at 3 feet max, and then the next pool goes to about 4.5.
So the kids don't drown. Yeah.
Right, and then in the 4.5 pool, it isn't really just families and children. It's people who are doing physical therapy. They're working their muscle. They're doing this, and it's me. And I love it. And yesterday I went in there, and the weird thing is, the adult pool opens real early, but the family pool doesn't open until 8 o'clock. And one day a week, my wife and I, she has a training session at 7:30, so I've got to go in the big lap swim pool if I want to swim at all. And that's annoying because it's only 6 lanes. So you've got to share a lane with another person, or and it's 8 foot. Not my favorite thing. But yesterday, one day a week, her training session's at 8, so I get to go into the family pool just when it opens. And I get there, I'm walking in, I'm about to go in, and like the lifeguard's like, no! I'm like, what? I'm tapping my watch. It's like 5 after 8, and the lifeguard was late getting in. So I said, sorry, man, you can't. You've got to. So I start walking towards the other pool, and then the lifeguard comes in.
You're like, yay!
And she's a cute redhead, too. So I'm like, I'm going back to the family pool.
One time.
And I got in there, and I'm saying, then a guy comes in there, and he's got like water wing paddle things to work out some stuff. But he stayed on his. I stayed on mine, had a lovely, and to keep it, unlike so many pools, if you've ever gone on vacation or things like that, where you get into the pool, and until your body acclimates, it feels like it's 54 degrees and you're going to die.
Shock, yeah.
You're doing like a polar bear thing.
Yes.
No.
What is it like?
Oh, you can. It's not like a sauna hot pool, but it's just warm enough where you can kind of go in.
And not feel the pain. Yeah, good.
You don't have to do that thing I always do, even at the nicest hotel pools, where it's like, oh, I'm fine. Legs, thighs, belly button, nipple. Like there's something that happens, like above the balls and up to the neck, where you're fine, and then you feel the cold. Where it's like, oh, and you do the little splashy thing, like, I'm not one of those people, they tell you, oh, just go in all at once, it's better. Like, if it feels cold, just submerge and you'll be fine into it, which is true. But no, not the way I roll. It's like leg. Oh, there, knees, knee. Okay, thighs feels good, feels nice. Right above the hips. So it starts touching the stomach. I'm like, I want to be anywhere else right now, please. And then up to the neck. And then maybe there's no feeling in my head, which a lot of people have said. Because once you got up to the neck, head is no problem. Head is like, I'm in and I'm under.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I do love it. I do enjoy, I feel like Mr. Rogers.
Well, it's also something fun for summer. It's a summer event, right?
Yeah. You know, and what, all year long, Mr. Rogers used to start his day with a swim at the local, like, gym pool or the local health club pool. And that was his way. He was doing all these things, all these TV shows and humanitarian and stuff. Every day, like clockwork, he would just swim his laps, and it cleared his head. It gave him something healthy to do. It was just, nothing to say against it. I get it. I'm not a swimmer like he is, but something about going in the water.
Everybody has a different thing. I mean,
Yeah.
there are physical therapy places where, like, remember when I hurt my knee? The guy, we were living in the island, and it was lap swim, and I said to him, I can't swim. I'm supposed to rehabilitate my knee, and I can't do it on land. And he let me walk not the length of the pool, but the width, back and forth. So he said, as long as, like, and there were kids, everyone was screaming in the pool. I just walked back and forth and hugged the, like, not this way.
Yeah.
Not this way, but I walked this way.
Yeah.
And it helped because I needed to rehab.
In fact, I had to do that yesterday when I was in the family pool, and the guy came in 5 minutes after I was there, and suddenly, I was going back and forth and back, and suddenly this asshole starts going this way. I'm like, fine, so I'll change my trajectory. But also, I'm also the, I don't know what you would call it, I'm kind of the, not metal detector, but I'm the one who's kind of walking by the side of the edge of the pool, and I'm like, what the, I'm going to reach down and like somebody's nose plugs, and like people's ear things, and like they left on the bottom of the pool.
Well, because you have very sensitive feet, and you're good. You can always pick things up with your feet. You've always done that.
My toesies help keep the pool
that could
clean.
Be your summer job. They don't have a filter. They have a Dave.
Yes.
Like,
because it occurs to me now, I guess that they don't. I guess once a season, they drain the pool, or every couple of months they drain it.
It's too heavy to be filtered.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, shit that falls on the bottom. It's not like people's pee or phlegm or things that chlorine can take away. Or if they change out the water, that is, if somebody's earring falls down, it's not going to get that.
Yeah, that's true.
So old Dave, that's my special job there. I find stuff I step on. I'm like, what the hell?
Maybe you'll find stuff like money and stuff.
I should only. No, nose plugs I find. Money I don't.
Why do people wear nose plugs? How do they breathe?
I don't know what but you've seen the swimmers.
Why do they wear that?
I don't know. Well, you really don't. I think when you're swimming properly, you're using your mouth. You're going.
God, I don't think that's healthy. You found earrings?
No, I'm joking.
Okay.
No, and they're either earplugs or nose plugs that I have found. But I'm also stepping sometimes on where like crumbly, pebbly things. I'm like, I don't want to freaking know, and I can't get them. I'm like, but don't go. It's sort of like when you have a canker sore, and you shouldn't, and you should leave it alone, but you tongue it to see how painful it is.
You want me to get you swimmy shoes? You could put swimmy shoes.
I could wear flippy shoes.
Yeah.
I would feel really more ridiculous than I usually feel if I went into the family pool or any pool wearing swimmy shoes.
Why? It's stylish.
There's nothing stylish about frogman flippy shoes.
I think it would look great. You'd like, one time.
Would you let me wear them to like Wegmans or Mom's or Home Goods?
I don't think they'd be comfortable because you probably bang your toes, but you could.
But I'd be flopping around.
You could wear it. I'm okay with it. I don't care.
And I wear my snorkel. I don't know what happened to my snorkel.
I don't even think that you could do. I saw the weirdest thing.
Oh, what?
It was a couple, and they were, I guess, on their honeymoon or maybe on vacation, and they went swimming on mermaid cycles. You know what a mermaid cycle is?
No.
Give me your phone.
Oh, yeah, of course.
It's a bicycle that you go underwater, and it has a little, remember, a flag so they can see you in a buoy, and you just pedal.
Are you underwater or just a bike? Most of the bike.
No, you're underwater completely.
I want to do this.
No, I don't want to get rid of that. You got the
Underwater bicycling?
I think it's called the hold on.
Mermaid cycling. Hold on.
I can't get. Oh, I'm sorry, David. I'm slow. It's called mermaid bicycles, underwater bicycle riding.
Where?
I know,
When? How? By the way, it's 10 o'clock in the morning Eastern time here in the Daverhood. You're watching.
Underwater bicycles that you ride, and then you have a buoy up top.
You're watching Dave's Gone By, our 1042nd episode of the show on this July 25th, 2026. We're calling it Teen Beat in honor of Christine Andreas and her husband, Martin Silvestri, who will be chatting with Rabbi Sol Solomon in just a few minutes.
Underwater bikes. See, it's something like this thing, see?
Look at it.
You get the gist of it?
Okay, I think I get the idea.
And so instead of swimming, you just ride a pedal, and then there's a buoy attached to it up above so they can find you. You know, it's like
Flag, like the people who can't walk and they're on those scooters and they have the American flag so they don't get killed in the parking lot.
I think it's so cool. And then you just
Would you do this with me? Somewhere, wherever the hell they do it.
And die, but, you know.
Oh, it's in Hawaii. Well, if we go back to Hawaii for like maybe our 30th
let's do that.
anniversary.
Sure.
Why not?
No, I'd rather go other places.
You know, not that Hawaii was bad, but I would too. You know, like Detroit or Kenosha. Never been to Kenosha,
I
Wisconsin.
don't even know what Kenosha is.
Oh yeah, our 30th anniversary, remembering our honeymoon in Kenosha, Wisconsin. And we should get, even though you wouldn't eat it, we should get like chicken wings to commemorate the night that we got engaged.
Like vegetarian chicken wings.
They probably do, like seitan wings, or what do they call? Tofu hot wings.
Turkey.
Tofurkey wings. Oh yeah, that'd be tasty. Okay, coming up on this episode of the show, we have Rabbi Sol's rabbinical reflection on Jimothy the raccoon. We also have the new parody song, I'm Gonna Use That Girl. Plus, we have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned for Cornish, Colorado, and story time with Rabbi Sol. Have you filled a bucket today? And, of course, a conversation with Christine Andreas and Martin Silvestri talking to Rabbi Sol Solomon. But I think that we need to get to Greeley Times, except it's not. I got it.
It's non-Greeley. Well, did we finish all the Greeleys?
All the Greeleys are
then
gone.
It could be previously Greeley Times all time.
Yeah, or no, I like non-Greeley. Non-Greeley Times, which has to do with weird, ridiculous news stories from all over the country. Most of them reported by, or collated by Shepherd Express out in Wisconsin. Okay, here we go, to Seattle, Washington. Okay. And Rabbi Sol will be talking about this. Usually you don't want an animal to be viral, particularly if he's rabid or foaming at the mouth, but the last 2 weeks...
Oh, wait, don't we have...
Do we have?
Somewhere we have the rabid.
Oh, the possum.
Maybe he's jealous here.
Yes.
He's jealous.
Oh, look how mad he is.
He's jealous.
Yeah. This is not Jimothy. We bought this long before Jimothy, but in Seattle's Ballard neighborhood, someone filmed Jimmy, the misshapen raccoon, strolling from yard to yard, and within days he became a mascot for seemingly the entire world.
Because, everybody loves an underdog.
Or an undercoon, yeah.
Okay.
Well, Jimmy suffers from short spine syndrome because his vertebra didn't separate properly when he was a fetus.
What is it? It's like a, Oofty had it where his arms were like this.
Yeah,
That's
there
like
was vertebrae that kind
structural
of fused.
deformity of the bone,
Yeah. So, this shortened his torso and basically took away his neck. And he also has an unusually short tail. So altogether, he's a weird kind of roly-poly.
Good.
And by the way, this is hyperallergic is the source of this
He's
story.
hyperallergic?
No, this is where the story came from. A number of dogs have had this syndrome and become ambassadors for the condition, but Jimothy is, oh, we gotta show that. There he is. Look at him. He's rare because he's in the wild, well, not in the forest, he's in a neighborhood,
He's not like
but he's surviving. You know, he's not, you would figure people, things like
Well,
this.
they say normally the animals would abandon him because he's a threat. But the mother took him in her mouth and kept him, like carried him when he was a baby and couldn't walk places. So he's getting a lot of cared for.
So, yeah, I mean, Rabbi Sol is going to talk about him and all the stuff that's been done in his honor since showing up. As a matter of fact, tomorrow, Sunday, July 26th, Seattle City Councilman Alexis Rink is set to designate this as Jimothy Summer in Seattle. Isn't that wonderful?
I love it. He's an underdog. He's an raccoon, you know?
And it should be noted, says the story, that Jimothy's appearance coincidentally coincides with this being Disability Pride Month. So he's become a representation of accessibility and perseverance.
Think he knew?
Oh, that's why he came out this month.
I mean, he has a doctorate, so he's smart. You know?
Yeah, if it come out in June, he would be representing gay people. You know, they paint him a rainbow or something.
He came to Taylor Swift's wedding.
He did. Well, they had so much trash. He would have loved it.
True.
Yeah.
I was telling people yesterday how the guy sold in little like lucite cubes the garbage from the wedding, right? That's like
Taylor and Travis's wedding. So there's somebody's always going to figure out a brilliant way to make a buck. He goes through the garbage and takes actual real garbage from the wedding, puts it in a lucite cube and sells them for $25. Like, this is officially from the... I mean, if they did that from the Lady Di Prince Charles wedding, that would probably be worth hundreds of dollars a piece.
Yeah.
Or maybe not. It shouldn't be. It probably is, but shouldn't be.
Yeah.
But anyway, Washington's Department of Fish and Wildlife does remind us that if you see Jimothy bouncing around, grabbing food, climbing a rail, please remember, don't feed the Jimothy, don't approach the Jimothy, don't follow the Jimothy, and don't touch the Jimothy, unquote. He's still a fucking raccoon.
Yeah.
Let's just remember that, folks. As adorable as he is, don't pet the Jimothy. He's not something you want to mess with, even cute as he might be.
He's a symbol. He's a symbol of the underdog, and you know, and perseverance. But he's also
a raccoon.
He could carry rabies.
Yeah, and even if he didn't, he's a raccoon. He will bite you. He will scratch you. They're nasty creatures. And now, the New York Post has something to share with us, and this is a story after my own heart and other parts of my body. If you love your Squatty Potty,
I do.
and who doesn't? And we have a Squatty Potty here, and it's helped.
Which was recommended by a physical. Oh Jesus.
Oh, was it when I had my hernia, or when did
No,
it?
it was recommended by my physical therapist. Yes.
It's back. Or was this?
Yes.
Remember when the Times Square hot dog was thing? And didn't we have a thing that shot mustard that looked like it was coming or something? Yes.
I don't. That's not right.
Well, here is the next generation of the Squatty Potty. A company called Let Loose has unveiled a limited edition pair of shoes that make trips to the toilet a smoother experience.
Wow.
Said the CEO, quote, "They're about to change the way the world..."
You don't slip, like non-slip?
Oh, no, they're going to change the way the world poops, unquote. Designed to be a more discreet and stylish alternative to traditional toilet stools. And that's right, there's really nothing stylish about the phrase toilet stool.
Yeah, but let me tell you something. When you gotta go.
Well, you gotta go. The $69, quote, shit shoes feature a retro design of platform sandals. They've got a 7-inch lift, so the shoes.
How do you walk in that?
Walking, yeah. No, you keep. I guess you keep them in the bathroom.
Oh, okay.
They raise your knees to a squat-like position when you're on the bowl. Said the CEO, and a lot of people have said this, the way we normally poop is not ideal. In fact, he says, back in the olden days, we would squat, which allowed for your knees to lift up 7 inches, helping your colon unkink, and the poop would move through you.
Wow.
Kind of like this, like... Lift your knees.
Here.
Oh.
Sorry, I couldn't.
There it goes. By the way, Let Loose is not, go figure, the first company to upgrade the porcelain throne. Current companies putting the stool and footstool include Squatty Potty and Tushy. Oh, sorry.
What is Tushy?
Not even the Tushy Ottoman.
What is that?
It's basically like a Squatty Potty. It's a
It's
thing
like
where you
another
put your,
brand. Okay.
the Tushy Ottoman. Let Loose says that its shoes are designed to take up less space and look good. Says the CEO, who, by the way, go figure, was an artist before, it's a woman. She turned entrepreneur.
Good for her.
I struggled with constipation. You always want to hear this from the boss of a company. I struggled with constipation, bloating, and digestive issues for 15 years.
God.
If these shoes don't change your life and change how you poop, you can email me personally.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Oh, her inbox must be stuffed, kind of like she was back in the day before she designed the poop shoes. Oh, yes, there's another story, another big story here. We're going to go, I'm going to get the tooth phone to tell the truth. Rotterdam, Holland.
Wow.
This story was actually reported by the Associated Press. You know, many artists are nutty, but William T. Shippers goes one better. Now, you remember when we were, as of course you remember, it's only 2-3 weeks ago, when we were on vacation, I guess it was in Havre de Grace, and we went to the museum. Oh, no, or was it? No, it was New York. We were in New York and went to the Museum of Modern Art. And there was one room where the guy just put like 4 million candies
Oh, we had them, yeah.
on the floor, right? And in these silver wrappers.
You could take them.
You can take, the guard said you can take, because they replenish them, right?
I think it was the Whitney. Was it the Whitney?
Might have been the Whitney, not Modern. Might have been the Whitney.
I don't remember, Bacon.
So, well, there's another guy, William T. Shippers. He spreads 800 pounds of peanut butter,
Oh, God.
enough for about 15,000 sandwiches, across the floor
Yeah.
of the Netherlands Boijmans van Beuningen Museum.
Yeah.
Shippers is a conceptual
You
artist.
gotta walk on that?
You look at it. He first created Pindak Aslu. How is this?
It just means peanut butter, right?
Yeah, Pindak Asvleur, peanut butter floor.
Oh, I like that. That's a good name for it.
And he first did, give the man credit, he first did this back in 1969.
I like peanut butter flour. That would
Well, yeah, why not? So he died last month.
Yeah.
So in his honor, the museum brought back his sculpture, his thing, whatever you would call it.
What do you do? Oh, no.
Yeah, no, they brought back.
There's no service animals. They love peanut butter.
Oh my God.
Like if you have a service animal and they see that peanut butter,
They're going to be all.
even though they're a service animal, they shouldn't do it. They might be tempted.
And how do you keep the flies and the roaches and the whatever away from that? It's like, it's one thing to have wrapped candies on the floor. Now, Shippers was a beloved nonconformist character
Oh,
who
yeah.
voiced both Ernie and Kermit the Frog in the Dutch Sesame Street.
Oh, so that's why he's loved, yeah.
But he also created silly and unconventional artworks that challenged the seriousness of fine art. He told journalists one time, "Isn't it fantastic? We're all standing here looking at peanut butter." Shippers also created other works in his floor covering series.
Like the jelly series. The jelly.
Well, he did glass shards
Oh no.
and salt.
Salt is better than glass.
Glass shards, yeah.
I mean, that could be dangerous.
Well, you're not supposed to eat any of it. You're supposed to look at it and smell it.
If you trip, you could trip and fall in the.
Well, and glass shards would be bad.
Yeah, peanut butter won't be.
Peanut butter would be fun. For the current revival of peanut butter floor, 2 employees spent a week using drywall trowels to spread 40 buckets of this stuff across 270 square feet. But what hits visitors first is the aroma.
Oh.
Museum staff, when people come in, they just have to follow the smell. You know where you just follow the smell.
And then there's in their cafeteria they have peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
And by the way, the ticket counter is 3 floors below where the exhibit is. Note that a sign at the museum entrance warns people with peanut allergies to stay the hell out of the museum.
No kidding.
Oh, and more rules, by the way, from Shippers. Before his death, he created a 20-point plan for any museum that was looking to recreate his nutty masterpiece.
Oh, God.
And this includes the peanut butter needs to be smooth, not chunky. Why does it fucking matter? And it has to smooth as smoothly. It has to spread as smoothly and boringly as possible. And no one, he has to say this, no one is supposed to stand in, lie down, or do anything to the peanut butter once it's on the floor. However, people being people, in a 1997 recreation of peanut butter floor, visitors placed 12 slices of bread and several bags of bread and chocolate sprinkles on the work.
Oh, I like that.
At the time, Shipper said, the guy's got a sense of humor. He said, quote, it doesn't look bad. The sprinkles have been applied with a sense of proportion and a skillful hand.
Nice.
Okay, because honestly, it's like, it's got to be smooth peanut butter, not chunky. It's like, really? It's peanut butter on the floor. You're calling it art. You're making hundreds of thousands of dollars doing it.
Smooth is different than chunky.
Smooth is different, but chunky might recreate like waves. It might be more like a Turner.
You get hurt when chunky.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
would you?
Smooth is more glamorous.
Yeah, but I will tell you this. If I had a museum and I wanted to recreate that, Jif, Skippy, you use that organic shit. It's like, it's oil on the top, like a cement peanut butter. You got to stir it, goes all over the place.
We don't have organic.
Or what is the stuff that we used to, or we still do? There's the one where it's like the good peanut butter. It's only peanuts, and it's just, but it's a Skippy or Jif, Peter Pan. You take the knife, you go.
Because it's got chemicals in there.
I don't care. Emulsifiers. It's like the butter we use when they put olive oil in it, so you can go. And instead, I grew up with breakstone, where you break your fucking wrist trying to use it. It's like, here's a piece of bread, and my mom used Wonder Bread. My mom used Wonder Bread. And you try to put breakstone out of the fridge, butter, onto Wonder Bread. And you're like,
why did you melt it?
nuggets, you had to. It was the only way. You had to dig nuggets like you're mining for ore.
Didn't they have sticks?
Oh, God. And then with the good peanut butter, you get a jar. The first time you open the jar, you got to roll it across the floor 4,000 times so that it starts to mix. God, give me like shitty peanut butter with molasses and sugar and corn syrup and dog vomit in it, and it's all mixed up. You have a piece of bread, even bread that falls apart if you breathe on it, like Wonder. And you can just go whoop, 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 like Art Paul Schlosser, have a peanut butter sandwich. That is how I would recreate peanut butter floor by what's his name, William T. Shippers. Up, another item.
No scratchy.
Oh, I heard this one from the homing owl. Oh. We go to Bangkok, Thailand. From this story from United Press International. You think, and you do think, that groundhogs are bad? Well,
They're the devil.
chaos erupted inside a Facebook Meta office in Thailand
Yeah.
when a squirrel erupted from a package delivered to the building and ran wild.
A squirrel.
The rodent scratched the janitor,
Oh, God.
causing a minor injury, before he was somehow wrangled.
By who?
I don't know. I think they got police in there or somebody. New York Times reporter Mike Isaac tweeted, quote, employees are predictably having a field day with it internally. One person created an AI-generated video mimicking an HR training course on squirrel-related office best practices. But the company had no official statement on the incident. So yeah, it's if you have a squirrel or a raccoon, I don't care how cute it is, if it gets into your domicile or your office, you're not in a good place.
Squirrel in package from Facebook in
Thailand.
Thailand.
Did they take pictures? I mean, they must have.
Squirrel from Facebook office in Thailand.
Are there pictures? Is there anything? Did they? Oh no. This is just generic. Squirrel. We have one more item of our Non-Greeley Times today, and then we got so much more show to do. One more item, and by the way, we're going to go all the way to. Hold it. I may not. You know what? Whoops. I didn't realize this went on the next page. Oh, well, you know what? I've got to open it up here, and I'll read it from the computador instead. Just give me one mo. And I will need my glasses for this again. Speaking of animals, cute, adorable animals, we go to Tasmania for this next true story. And you saw this, and you can actually get the story up on this on the video, the footage.
What?
Neil the seal is back in the ocean.
Images of Neil the seal in the ocean.
Neil, a 5-year-old, 2,200-pound elephant seal, went back to the water finally
Neil the seal.
after spending 2 weeks roaming around Tasmania. Here he is. This is not AI. This is an actual thing. Here's Neil. I'm going to just hold this up to there like that. Neil, you would figure seals would just stay by water. You would figure 1 foot away they go back, and 1 foot. No, this thing was just lying on the road, perfectly fine. There he is by a car. He's a lunatic. But he's so cute. Cuter than Jimothy, actually. Neil the seal.
That's debatable.
Most of the time, he would sleep on the side of the road, but he also broke barricades, crushed fences, and bashed himself into a parked car. As one local politician put it, quote, Neil is the only bloke who can stop traffic, ignore everyone, and still be loved for it, unquote.
That's true.
Now, the thing is, Neil was just doing typical seal things. 5 years ago, his pregnant mother likely got turned around somehow while all the other seals were going in one direction.
Oofty seal.
They went all further south. She just kind of tucked away into Tasmania. So she had Neil near this area. And that's why he keeps coming back every year. That's where he was birthed by his mama.
At a gas station.
It's like a 7-Eleven. Yeah, she went in for a Slurpee, and he goes on land during molting and mating season. As a matter of fact, and this is sad, he's probably quite lonely.
Because there's nobody else there.
Yeah.
God.
He doesn't have a herd, so he can't hang out and play poker. And, he doesn't get to sleep, or a girlfriend to hang with. So I like to say that it's, he's like cleaning up after a party, but having no Tupperware. He's missing a nice tight seal. Thank you. Thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, that concludes Non-Greeley Times for this Saturday morning on Dave's Gone By, July 25th, 2026. So much more for you on the show.
Mr. Horace Greeley was no fool. I'm sure that you'll agree with me that Greeley was no fool.
What he is getting at is that Mr. Greeley was no fool.
Yippee-yi!
Yippee-yi, 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 yi, yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi.
Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, here on Dave's Gone By on this Saturday morning, want to let you know or remind you, because we say this every week, that, I've talked about previous episodes of the show. The fact that we used to do hour-long programs when we were on terrestrial radio, sometimes hour and a half. Then we did these much longer shows with a lot of music in them when we were on Colorado College Radio. And now, of course, we've been doing this Facebook show for about 8 years. So all of the archives are available to listen to and see. You can see my hair get grayer and grayer, my beard go from almost black to completely gray month by month, week by week. It's all there at our website, davesgoneby.com. DAVESGONE, davesgoneby.com. And when you go there, obviously we know how to work YouTube and video things. You can skim, you can watch a bit. If you get a little bored, you can go to another point in it, or you can play it over and over. Share it with friends. The archives are there. You can also download them if you don't want to just stream them on your computer. We also put our archives at archive.org, archive.org. This is not a website that we own or anything. It's just a not-for-profit that gathers up culture, literature, paint, everything from the past 1,000,000 years. And we have a special space on there for our Dave's Gone By content. All of our interviews, all of our full programs at archive.org. Plus, we have our audio archives at castbox.fm, and we have now all of our complete episodes from the very first one on Spotify. Just look for Dave's Gone By in all these places, and we have a YouTube channel too, where a lot of our stuff is blocked because of the rights to music issues that we played. But YouTube channel as well, and this Facebook page that you tune in to every Saturday morning from 9 until noonish or thereabouts for new episodes of the Dave's Gone By show. Well, it is 10:30 in the morning Eastern Time. I think it's about time that we bring in our special guests for this week in the Daverhood. She is a songstress, a singer, also an actress. So she's been on Broadway in several shows, including including two-time Tony nominations for On Your Toes, and also she was nominated for a revival of Oklahoma. She was also, as I told the story early in the program, in the Scarlet Pimpernel on Broadway. Lots of credits for Christine Andreas. And Rabbi Sol Solomon will tell you more about her because he's about to interview her, because she's going to be appearing at 54 Below next weekend, so the 30th and the 31st. So it's I think Friday and Saturday, with her show Swonderful, doing songs obviously by Gershwin, but lots of other people too. If you don't know who Christine Andreas is, I think you're going to have a wonderful, wonderful time. If you do know who she is, you're going to even have a more wonderful time watching her be interviewed by Rabbi Sol Solomon, and she's even going to bring a very special person in her life into the mix, Martin Silvestri, who is a musician and her musical director. He's going to be there playing with her and conducting at her Studio 54 gig. Martin Silvestri, her husband. So it's going to be a great fun time on Dave's Gone By. Let me just share my screen. get that going. Let me get the interview rolling with Rabbi Sol and Christine Andreas. Here's Rabbi Sol. You recognize, I don't know how he can be grayer than I am. That's the weirdest part. Anyway, you never know with these things. Please to enjoy the rabbi and the singer and the musician. Oh, shalom, my friends. Shalom, my enemies. This is your old pal, Rabbi Sol Solomon, founder and spiritual leader of Temple Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York. And that laughing, smiling, happy person that you see before
Oh my
you
God, what am I in for?
is a lovely and frightened non-Jewess. Her name is Christine Andreas. Let me tell you a little about her, because her career in theater and cabaret and music goes back to when she was a Theater World Award winner in 1976 for a revival of My Fair Lady. She's also a two-time Tony nominee. Count them, one and two. Look at this. There she is. For Oklahoma in 1980 with our good friend Marty Bitnovic, who has been on this show. And On Your Toes in 1983. She toured in the musical The Light in the Piazza. Plus, what else do we have? Oh, she's a Barrymore Award winner in Philadelphia, a Helen Hayes Award winner in Washington, D.C., and she has done cabaret at all the highest spots, including the Carlisle, Carnegie Hall, the Algonquin, our Schul's Garage, which are very grateful to her. A reviewer in Cabaret Scenes wrote, and I quote, "If there is a better pure singer performing on a cabaret stage than Christine Andreas, I have not heard that voice." Her voice is, ladies and gentlemen, wonderful. In fact, it's wonderful, like that segue, because you can hear it in her Old and New American Songbook show, Swonderful, at 54 Below, July 30th and 31st this weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, won't you please welcome and give a big shalom to Christine Andreas. Shalom, Christine! By the way, shalom means hello. Now, I know, are you an Italian? Because you married an Italian. What are you?
Half Italian,
And
German,
half-
and Irish.
German. Oh, where were your parents in World War II?
Oh, here. My dad and mother were both born here, but their
Okay.
parents were born every place else.
Just checking, just
I
making
know,
sure.
I know. No, we're good. We're good.
So do you
Pennsylvania,
feel
Dutch, German?
do you feel Italian or German most, or do you feel culturally?
I guess I feel like a mutt, I mean, I guess I lean a lot on the Italian because my mom was the Italian and she was the singer. So, no, a non-professional, but a really lovely natural singer. So I suppose I lean a little more towards that.
So what?
But I do know the Ave Maria in German.
In German.
I know.
What do they say in German? How it translates to what? Yeah, Heil Maria? No.
Jungfrau Milz.
I've had a couple of pints of Jungfrau milk, and I'm under the table. Let me tell you. But let me ask you, what music did she sing and play? What records were she playing? What did you hear your mother sing when you were growing up?
Well, I grew up in the 50s, early 60s. So, I mean, I heard a lot of the standards of the day. So Nat King Cole and Lena and Ella and Tony and Frank and, all those great Mel Torme, all those beautiful singers. Nat King Cole was her favorite singer. She loved theater. So there was, the little 45 record player on top of the fridge in the kitchen. And she'd be playing. I'd come home from school and there would be those little tiny records up there and I'd sing and dance in the kitchen. We graduated to the stereo when I was in high school. And then she'd have the bigger LPs of Angela and Mame and all of that playing and On a Clear Day. So I knew up to that point, I knew almost every musical because I had heard them all and she would sing them, which is a different way of getting the music when it's your mother's voice. And it's sung with just the joy of making sound and loving that music. Something goes into your psyche, if you love, somebody loving sound like that. So that's how I learned to sing in a rather unselfconscious, more joyful way. So my mommy.
Yeah. And did you sing in church? Did you sing in school?
Oh, sure. Yeah, you always sing in church. or
Well,
Holy
I don't
Spirit
sing in
at
church.
night.
I don't even go near a church. There are magnetic waves that pull me
God,
across
God,
the
look over him. God, look over him. Because
Well,
Rabbi doesn't go to church. Oh, dear.
Well, you mentioned Mel Torme there. You just snuck that name in. Your husband knew him, didn't he?
Yeah, he knew him well. They were
And he-
buddies. I'll have Marty tell you that story if we let him come on. If
we let him, if we allow
because he
him.
should tell his own story. It's a very special story about Mel. But Marty worked with a lot of great people in studio. Mel being one of them. He worked with Edie Gourmet. He's worked with a lot of people because he's a composer and he's written for theater, for TV, for film.
And as you say, for theater, you were in a show called The Fields of Ambrosia.
So did your homework.
I did indeed, yes. Well, I see ambrosia. I think it's a biblical word, and I'm looking. I'm like, oh, yeah. And then it's about a killer. But anywho,
Well, it was a malaprop for the character for the Elysian Fields. So we called them the Fields of Ambrosia because he just had a little bit of education, but he knew that something was like a fields.
there you go. Well, I prefer my WC Fields. That's more where
He didn't use WC. Thank God.
Well, I used the WC this morning a couple of times because I've been irregular. But anywho, we're talking with Christine Andreas. Yeah, you didn't know
what
what the hell
happens
you were
in
getting
water, so you have to ignore that. Yes.
So who are people, do you have stories, he's got stories about Mel Torme and other people. Who are some celebrity, well-known singer, actor people that you, Christine Andreas, have a story about?
Well, one of my favorite stories, because, I come from the theater, and when you start to do cabaret, it's a very different way of, performing. And, obviously in theater, you're a character and you're playing to the back wall of, 2,000 seats. When you're in cabaret, I'm as close as your face is to mine on this little Zoom thing. There's somebody right there. And also you're just you. You're not Lori, you're not Eliza.
Right.
You're Christine, and you have, sorry for that noise. You have to adjust your
when I do cabaret, I become Golda Meir. It's phenomenal.
Well, you have to be comfortable with who you are. And I'm so sorry. This is my friend Deborah, and she doesn't. How do I get her to stop?
Oh, okay. Put your thing on side. Or put her on. Let's say hello. Let's say shalom to Deborah. That's a Jewish name.
No, she's just sending me texts. I don't know.
Tell her the rabbi says hello.
Maybe I'll just put my sound all the way down. Let's see that.
So ask her if she's keeping company.
Sorry, world, but I guess I'm a popular girl and she wants to visit. But anyway, back to my story. So you have to get comfortable being basically emotionally naked, just being yourself. Just be willing to have the best conversation possible, the most honest, direct conversation with a crowd. And that's a different way of being on stage. So I had to learn that. And so I went to watch a lot of different performers. And one of the most striking things that happened to me one was Sinatra. I would listen to Sinatra, and I never met him, but I would listen to the way that he made sound and how he allowed all the emotion into every phrase. If he would say the word love or happy or sad or whatever he would say.
Refrigerator, amazingly.
He would make that sound like the most beautiful thing. Am I right?
Yeah, you're right. Yes.
Yeah. So in this case, in a live performance, all right, I'm telling her to stop. Deb, stop texting me. Leave
Deb, go away!
I've never had so many texts ever. Hold on. All right, everybody listen. Deb, I'm doing an interview, and every time you call me, it dings. Can you stop for a little bit? Thank you. Bye.
Yeah.
Talk to you later. Bye. Everybody on the interview says, hi, Deb Dampling.
Tell her if she doesn't stop, I'll send her naked pictures of Schneerson. All right, so.
I can turn my phone off. That's a good idea.
Yes, all right.
There you go. Let's do that. So anyway, I went to Rainbow and Stars, and it was a very long story filled with things. I went to see Rosemary Clooney.
Oh, okay.
And Rosie, she'd been through everything that a human being can be through. She'd been through all kinds of addictions. She'd been through major stardom. She'd been on everybody's lips, in the early days with White Christmas. And everybody loved Rosie. She projected a warmth and a humanity. But she suffered for it all, too, and she had a very hard time. She was playing Holiday Inns at one point in her career.
Wasn't she in the movie Holiday Inn? And I guess
wasn't that Grace? I don't know, whatever.
It's a good thing she wasn't in the movie Motel 6. So
No, I don't think she did that, but I don't know. So I went to see her there, and that was a very beautiful room atop Rockefeller Center that overlooked all of Manhattan. And you sang in front of the backdrop of the Manhattan skyline. And most singers, I'd seen many different singers there, I won't mention names, but they all at some point would go, oh my God, I can't believe I'm here. I can't believe, look at that view. I can't believe this is me in front of this. And they all would do it, because we were excited about it. So this is Rosie. Rosie sings some beautiful ballad. She's singing to us and she's really just telling the story of this ballad. And then the musical solos come in, so the sax or whatever. And so she's listening to those guys and it was their stillness. And at one point, and you can't take your eyes off of her because when somebody is that much themselves, that unself-conscious, that just doing the singing as much for them as for you, they're so innocent, you just keep watching. So you're spellbound by her and she looks out at that view, that vista, that skyline. And under her breath, as she comes back, she just goes, beautiful. And it was like, I said, that's who I want to be. I want to be somebody who can just be on the stage for the sheer joy of making music to share. And I don't have to sell it. I don't have to push it. I just exist. I wanted that magic. So that's a big bar for me. And sometimes I get there, sometimes I'm not realized. Pure Stanislavski too, right? Because he said, relaxation creates concentration, creates imagination. And that's the spot you want to be in when you're performing, because you should not know what I'm going to do next.
See, with me, imagination immediately leads to constipation. So this is
You keep talking about this. I have a remedy for you, but we'll talk about it when we're all done. What's to do with flax and prune juice?
I've been there. I've got a shake. Yeah.
How can we go from Rosie Clooney to flax and prune juice?
Well,
Rosie, just don't listen.
Well, she was in herself in a stillness and a kind of this and letting the audience come to her. Very
but
different.
You know what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, but a very different kind of person that you obviously knew very well because you did a show, not personally, but you did a show at some point about Judy Garland. So you must have researched her. What did you learn about her? What do you channel from her? Well,
I've always loved Garland. How can you not? And again, that purity in performance. There's two performers that I ended up embodying basically, because when I did a show called Heartbreaker that was written by John Mayer, who had an affair with Garland. It's a wonderful book called Heartbreaker. John is now gone too. And John was a writer and a performer, cabaret artist, he and a player and an accompanist. And he found her when she lost her caps. She had $5 in her pocket and she hadn't bathed in a week because of circumstance she was in. And he was called in to help with a new show that some guy was gonna put together for Judy, a would-be producer, and found her in this circumstance. And she looked at him and she said, I'm with you. Because she liked the way he played the piano, and she left with him when the guy went into pee or something. They left the apartment. And she ended up staying with him only 3 months, as long as he could provide her with the drugs. But during that time, he got her back on television. He got her back in a gig, I forget where. He got her teeth capped. He wrote all new shows. He rejuvenated her. But the minute he couldn't get her the drugs she needed, she left him. So this was a very sad, and this is all in Heartbreaker. This is all part of that story. It was a play with music that I did. And it was so difficult to do a performer in that kind of angst. So, yes, when I listen to her, I forget all that. And I'm just lost in the beauty of her expression and those huge brown eyes and some over the rainbow place she goes to where she leaves all that. I also am quite good friends with her daughter.
Lorna Luft, Liza. Lorna Luft, yeah.
I've met Liza, but Lorna, not good friends, but I'm acquaintanced with Lorna, who has suffered a lot of they both suffered a lot of the damage of mother, right? It was hard wound to heal. So that's one place where I can go for inspiration. But more recently, in the last few years, I did a show on Edith Piaf. And people look at her exactly the same way, this poor waif soul, this victim, Garland was a victim. She was put there by her own mother, got her addicted when she was a child, making movies, and they had to keep you awake for the filming. And there would be urns of Dexedrine, urns at the studio. and you would just, you could put them in your pockets. So she got addicted before she could even, basically walk and talk.
See, in my shul, I admit, in the back, I have urns of Joy Bar ring gels. And I just live on those. I gained 7 pounds right after Yom Kippur.
Well, you need to I know we all have our little habits, but that's not quite as bad as Dexedrine, is it?
No, not quite. Not quite. If they were chocolate-covered Dexedrine, it would be close. But just So
you
tell
can
me.
get high on too much sugar. You can definitely get brain fog.
There you
But
go.
anyway, but anyway, I wrote the show on Piaf because I think a lot of the world, they see the films, and most of the movies on her just show this, she's shooting up, she's drugged out on a bed. She sings great, then she's drugged out on a bed again. And honestly, 2 different people wanted me to do shows on her, and I kept refusing because I don't speak French, although I sing in French and I love it. And I thought, I'm going to be schizophrenic. I don't involved with all that. And then, the more I read, I started reading about her. It was so insistent that I said, this is a door that just wants to be opened in my life. So I wrote a show, and what hit me was she was so much more than what you see in film and in these interviews. And, everybody just likes to go for that, pathetic soul card, poor soul card. And she was just so brilliant. So I wrote this show to show how much more she was than that.
She was a hell of a hockey player, I read.
Well, I became a disciple of Piaf, I guess and I learned a lot from her. I learned a lot about she was a disciple of the craft. I mean, she just never stopped working tirelessly at doing what she did better and better and better and learning new material. And artists are supposed to reflect the time they're in. And she did that. She let go of a whole paradigm of, she did these called the chansons royalistes, which were songs of the working class. She started off singing all of them. And they were always about somebody dying in the end and something terrible happening. And went after World War II. And she was not a star doing that, not an international star. And right after the war, she wanted to change that, image of herself and lift the spirit of everybody, the spirits that had been so broken by World War II. So she wrote La Vie en Rose. And that changed her life. She became an international star. So the fact that she was, so intelligent and intuitive enough to want to reflect what she was living in and put it out there. That's who you kind of want to be. And that's basically wonderful. The show I'm doing is, I didn't write any new songs, but I do 2 original songs of my husband's that are beautiful. And the whole point of the show is to lift spirit, because these are almost as challenging as the Nazis these times.
Maybe not for Italians and Germans, for Jews.
We're kind of waiting. Yeah, we're waiting for lots of shoes to drop if things don't shift, right? And basically, there might be no more planet if we don't. Won't matter what you are if that happens. So
who are some of the other components? So there's going to be obviously a Gershwin song, and then what other songs will be in So Wonderful? What other artists are you?
I have everything from Mancini to Billy Joel to Rodgers and Hammerstein. I forget who wrote Berkeley Square, but that's in there. You wouldn't know those people, but a couple of beautiful, sort of more British pieces.
Which Billy Joel song? I have to. I wonder about that.
2,000 Years. Do you know that one?
No.
It's a very prophetic and fabulous song.
2,000 Years. I do not know that.
Peter Allen is in. Yeah, check it out. He is incredible. It's very powerful. song.
Well, Billy Joel wasn't good enough to get on that New York Times list of greatest American living songwriters. He's
Not really. Yeah, well, everybody gets a little too comfortable with who they know, I guess. You have to I don't know. I mean, I think I've always loved Billy Joel.
Now, let's get to know you a little bit more, Christine Andreas. Let's take you back. Honest to God, 50 years ago, it's 1976, and you're on Broadway. What?
I stopped counting. Oh, my God. Do a blessing on me now.
Well, you certainly don't look whatever your age
I look pretty good.
You look amazing. This is absolutely
Thank you. And I didn't do any refining here. This is just what it is. I think I get my teeth prettier. I think.
Oh, see, like on you haven't capped.
Sunned up and all that, yeah.
Right, yeah. And I trimmed my nose hairs just for this interview.
Just for this.
Can't see. Well, one. There's one. One. All right. Okay.
You want to tweeze it here right on camera?
I got this.
No,
hold on. It's an electric. All right. There might be some blood, but we'll be okay.
It'll match your hat.
So, what the hell was it?
Boy,
Winning a Theatre World Award for and being on Broadway in My Fair Lady, and you were a kid. I mean, so
20, I was 24. So
Was it-
anybody can do the math.
how did you get the role? How did you audition? What was your audition piece?
I have an odd story about this, which I've told many times, but I'll try to condense it. I was very intuitive. I was very intuitive when I was younger, almost like I could see things, you know. I mean, I couldn't read the leaves or anything, but I could really feel things that happened. And for some reason in grammar school, reading Pygmalion, these bells and whistles all went off in my head. And I wonder what that's, because I would always read the play, the novel, whatever the source material was for any show. I wanted to go more deeply into those characters that I love so much, like why are they doing this and that? And so in this case, of course, Fair Lady, it's Pygmalion, which I read everything Shaw wrote back then because I love Pygmalion. I just wanted to do Pygmalion if I could. And
Yes, but you wanted to be Higgins. It was.
no, no, actually, I didn't. I wanted to do that and go out. So years later, when I was in New York, I did my first Broadway show was a show called Words and Music. It was the writing of Sammy Cahn. It was and he was wonderful. It was, a celebration of a great songwriter's work, right? So, and Sammy was an incredible showman. Now I covered the two girls who were doing the show. One was singing up here, one was singing in the cellar. I was, invaluable because I could cover all these ranges.
Last time I tried to cover two girls, I was arrested. But
I can understand that.
Actually, you know what?
I
Before
had
we
to stop feeding you. But the director of that ended up directing My Fair Lady.
actually, but we'll get back to My Fair Lady. But since you mentioned, do you have any Sammy Cahn stories from when you were doing Words and Music? Any Sammy Cahn memories?
Well, I do one in my show because he used to tell he told his own stories,
Yeah.
I mean, he was just very loving, and he was a big showman, and he was a big show off, and he stood about, this high, I say, with the healthiest ego I had ever encountered. And I used to just sit in the wings and watch him tell his stories. So you want a story that he told?
Well,
I don't have. It's so long ago. This is before Fair Lady.
Yeah.
I can't remember anything exactly personal except his encouragement, and his kindness. I can't remember anything he said.
You know what? That's the fact that he was a lovely, egotistical but lovely person.
Marty has a Sammy story too.
I should interview him. No kidding.
I know. I think you should.
I can't.
Yeah,
but
he's
you must
on
have
the ground.
stories. You said about auditioning for My Fair Lady, or knowing that you would intuitively get it. Blah blah.
I have some crazy stories for the other two shows. So Fair Lady. So I knew the director. I had that weird psychic experience with that. I knew I was going to get the part when I auditioned. I knew it. And I also was on the road then with Michael Allenson, who had covered, I was on the road with Angel Street, a play that was coming to Broadway with my mentor, Dina Merrill, which we could talk about, and Michael Allenson, who was Rex's cover. So Michael was coaching me. And so when I went in for the audition, they wouldn't do those scenes. It was a slipper scene and some other, because they thought, she's going to know those, which is ridiculous if I did them well. But they gave me different scenes. That was fine. And then I just waited. I waited and waited, but I knew I was going to get it. And and 700 girls auditioned in London and in New York. And then they hired me. But I knew it wasn't ego. I just knew that was going to be mine. It was much harder to deliver Eliza than I realized. That's Shaw. And, the first Eliza was 50 years old and a Shavian, Lovers or something, Mrs. Patrick Campbell. It was a very hard role for a young ingenue to find. But I eventually found it. I found it. Now, in terms of auditioning for a show, for both Oklahoma, Billy Hammerstein was directing it. So I had my audition with Billy. I went in and I sang, I guess people will say We're in Love, and he offered me the role right then and there. And I said no. Exactly. That was Billy. No, Billy's mouth dropped and why are you here? I'm offering you. And I said, well, I'm not sure. I was a little bit arrogant. There was a description of, there was basically one time in show business, a description of a Christine Andreas type. I just actually found arrogant but vulnerable.
People have called me, they've called me worse, but they called me that too. So,
that was my type. And I didn't mean to be arrogant. It's just that I had strong feelings about
what strong feelings did you have to say no?
Because I'd done the part and I already understood the character and I wanted to move on. And I said to him, I've already done the part. He said, where? I said, summer stock. And he looked at me like, of course, like I was an idiot. So my agent, when I told him, of course, right afterwards, he just took a brick and hit me in the head and knocked sense into me. And I ended up doing it, and I had the time of my, it was directed by Billy. It was choreographed by Agnes DeMille. It was a beautiful production. It hadn't been done since the 40s. So recreating.
And your Higgins was...
No, we're talking Oklahoma now.
I'm sorry.
That was Billy with
Yeah.
Oklahoma.
Right.
Agnes DeMille choreographed Oklahoma. Randall, I can't think of his last name right now, re-choreographed Fair Lady with Jimothy. No, that was Jimothy was Oklahoma. Anyway, I ended up doing, my Higgins was Ian Richardson of the Royal Shakespeare Company, who was the loveliest, most generous, all that company. Was.
See, you had mentioned
and Bob Coote
Rex
was
Harrison.
the original. Yeah, well, no, I never did it with Rexon.
You're probably lucky.
He was mean. So I was glad Ian was a gentleman. And Ian did it like Leslie Howard. He looked like Leslie Howard, had very refined features and very much a look-alike. And he played him like a scientist. So he was finding his way to do Higgins, more like Pygmalion, less likable. Rex made him more likable in a way, more charming, a little more shticky. Ian didn't do that. And so you had to adjust your lens when you saw his performance, realizing he was much more authentic to Shaw.
Now speaking of authentic stuff,
and George Rose was in that.
George Rose.
And he was fabulous and very kind. And Bob Coote, the original Pickering.
Did you see the controversial Oklahoma revival from a couple of years ago?
Where they had beer cans and,
Well, so you're not into the revisal kinds
Well,
of...
I mean, the woke thing can serve it or hurt it. Being woke, having a black Lori. I mean, I could get past that, but she acted like she hated Curly. I never saw affection for Curly. I mean, she's an awkward girl. She's afraid of sex. So she is afraid of those feelings that come up, but she loves Curly. And this girl looked like she hated him when I saw it. She looked like she just despised him. So if you lose core relationships in all these woke things, you lose, a lot of feeling, I mean, why would you play it like that? Why would you be doing? And also, Oklahoma in its writing is very feminine. It's not jocks in, chaps. It's seen through Laurie's eyes. It's a very feminine story, which is what Agnes honored. So, I mean, okay, you want to do a college production and play, but to go back on Broadway, and I felt it was misrepresented, that's all, from the creative's point of view.
Wow. Have you seen, I'm so glad I asked that. Have you seen other Broadway My Fair Ladies and had different takes on those? Because they've been more traditional.
I saw them with Richard Chamberlain and Melissa Errico. And, again, they were doing the cheaper version. It wasn't the sets. It was like, a giant ear was a studio or something like that. There was a little melisma going on with Melissa, and wouldn't it be lovely? I thought that was, and I like her. She's a friend. But I wondered that choice, like, why would they allow you to kind of, wouldn't it be lovely to do like, extra notes? But I'm a purist. I'm a classicist.
Yeah.
Well, perhaps I'm a dinosaur.
An arrogant dinosaur. No, I'm kidding.
An arrogant dinosaur. But vulnerable. A vulnerable, arrogant.
Well, I do have to ask, since you steep yourself in this wonderful era, with some in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, what have you thought of the current, last 20 years of American musical theater? Is there anybody you like as shows that you really stand out above the rest?
I'll be honest that I am not as up to date as some. Obviously, Lin-Manuel has done some amazing things, that they're genius level. I saw, and you have to see it more than once. It's like an opera, Hamilton. You just can't get it one time. It's like, where was his brain? What was he riffing? I mean, it's extraordinary, right? And Jason Robert Brown does some pretty things. I just get annoyed when, the lyric basically, and the melody starts to go off like, I just woke up and I had my coffee. My coffee was cold. I didn't like my coffee. I needed more sugar. I didn't have no sugar. Do I care about your freaking cup of coffee? No. Is this worth musicalizing about? No. What are you trying to do? Like be on my level? Get me to, be familiar? I like.
So you have seen two strangers carry a cake across New York.
I guess. I want to be lifted, informed, taken out of myself, have a light shed on something I understand, but never get tired of going deeper into. This is what I thought theater was. I thought a song came because the character was so full of feeling, they could no longer speak. They had to break into song, it lifts, even if it's getting darker with whatever it goes into, it lifts or it goes deeper. It expands or focuses more, because talking can't do it. You need these notes to go deeper into the soul with whatever that character is trying to make you understand, that's where I come from. That's why I fell in love with my husband's music, because Fields of Ambrosia does that. Even Johnny Guitar that he wrote, which is a spoof on the film, even that does it. I mean, I kind of want to laugh, cry, be moved, not just be, I saw Book of Mormon. It was fun, but to me, it was one joke. It just seemed to be one joke. It was all the performers are amazing nowadays. I am in awe of voices and performances and gift and talent. But and there was great performances in that, but I left feeling kind of hollow. That's me.
Since we're talking about performative things, how much do you practice? Do you take voice lessons? Do you have a vocal coach? Or have you had that 30 years ago, you don't need it?
I always do a ruthless inventory of where my voice is. I'll start like a week or two out of a performance, and I even had around my throat now. This is called the OOVO straw.
The what?
Now, what's really OOVO straw? And you go, you go up and down like that, and you go.
A dog just farted.
I know, he's barking. But you do the OOVO straw, and Renee Fleming had talked about this, and you get your voice placed. Like a dancer places their arms and their legs.
It's not a pitch pipe, though. It's something.
No, it actually. If you can take a regular cocktail straw. If you have trouble, like you find you're losing your voice and you have to do many interviews.
Yeah.
You talk right there. You talk right there. You find where this is, and you're on your air in a more healthy way. And yes, I work also with a vocal coach named Chandler Thompson, and we Zoom. She's in Florida now at the Mayo Clinic, and she is a voice therapist, but also an opera singer, classical.
Oh, she's at the Mayo Clinic doing work. She's not.
She's working there. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, she was hired there to work with people who have.
I go with the ketchup clinic, actually, but it's rather different.
And the kosher dill pickle clinic, yeah.
There you go.
There you go. I like that one better.
We're chatting with Christine Andreas. Remember, you can go see her this weekend, July 30th and 31st, doing Swonderful Marvelous at 54 Below, which is somewhere on 54th Street, below something, Studio.
On 54th, believe it or not. And I have to do a lot more singing, a lot less talking there, I promise.
Oh, by the way, if you can't get to see her this weekend, all you got to do is book a cruise to friggin' Iceland, and you can see her.
In August.
August 3rd through the 12th. She's going to be on a boat that is literally going to...
It's a ship. It's not a boat. Ship.
It's a ship. Excuse me. It's a ship. Thank you, Miss Arrogant. No, a ship is not a boat. It's a yacht.
It's not a ship.
But she'll be doing her usual annual cruise to Iceland, and you can go see her and sing and whatever. So, yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. That we've been doing that for years, my husband and I, because we travel as a couple, and the world is our stage. And so we go on beautiful yachts. We just got off the Four Seasons yacht that was on the Dalmatian coast. We do Crystal and...
Well, I've been to the Dalmatian coast. It's rather spoggy.
So,
I did that. Yes, I went there. Speaking of spoggy, what...
I never even heard the word spoggy.
Spotty with a spot. Get a Dalmatian. Spots. That's the joke. Spotty. Sorry.
Spoggy?
Excuse me, my diction is not Christine Andreas.
You should get that
diction.
straw. Get that straw.
I need my OOVO straw. There we go.
I know. It looks like all vocal things look like drug tools. This looks like I have to hide it. I'm embarrassed. And then I have this thing that's called a breather. It looks like a bong. Totally looks like a bong.
How would you know what a bong? How would Christine Andreas
I come from the 70s. Thank you. I know.
I was going to ask about that because you were becoming famous in the 70s through the 80s, those crazy years in New York. How did you avoid becoming a Piaf or a Garland or a druggy burnout?
I fell in love with my child, I think. I had a child in 1986, and I had been through a couple of really rough marriages, and my intuition had dwindled as a result, and I just, but when I looked into the face of my son, who's a special needs child, by the way,
He's okay. He's alive and well.
He's 38.
Living on his own or in
No,
a
he's not in
community.
his own. He's in a group home, but
Yeah.
he's relative. He'll be at 54 below. He likes to hear mom's sing. But he's forever 4 years old, which is a pretty functional, lovely age.
I'm
to be.
forever 8, so there you go.
I think go lower.
You can't go lower than me, that's for sure.
I left that wide open for you.
You did.
But anyhow, I looked in that beautiful face, and I had to make some serious decisions about the quality of my life and my choices, and it wasn't hard. And I dropped the marriage. I had divorced his dad. That wasn't happy. And within a year, my heart was open enough to find Marty. I wasn't looking, but there was Marty.
Well, so that was your second husband, because you did a couple of marriages. I thought you only had.
Yeah, but anyway, that's the charm. I know, but I was stupidly loyal. I should have ended those first two very quickly, but I was very loyal, and I was trying to make things work as one does, if they're stupid after a certain point. But I effectively allowed many doors to close because of that. My son opened doors. People think that if I hadn't had my kid, I would be, singing.
You would be in the Bernadette Peters.
I would, I would be there. I mean, God gifted me. I believe God gifted me at that level. But anyway, I think I had other lessons to learn. Fame is a wonderful thing, but it's not everything. Learning your lessons and finally getting them over with. Learning not to be stupidly loyal was obviously a very big one for me. So
what's a life lesson?
Learn that one.
That's a big one. That's the big one.
Use intuition.
Speaking of Bernadette, move on. Right. But what's a life lesson that you've learned more recently, like in the past few years? Maybe since COVID, or maybe since whatever.
I'm trying patience. I'm working on patience really hard. I'm not very patient. That's very
well,
hard.
arrogant people aren't, but okay, yes.
And I still like things to be the way I like them when I like them. I want it when I want it when I want it. I want what I want when I want it. Is that what I mean?
That was from a musical too.
That
was the Theodore Roosevelt musical or something. It was Tintypes, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, was it? Well, I mean, it's a very complicated world now. So I'm just trying to be a little more observant, a little more absorbent, a little more receptive, and figure out, and also trying to lessen my own inner violence, my temper. I have a pretty good temper.
Oh.
I do confess. Ask Marty. But so does he.
Do you smash things or just verbally? No,
but I can yell and say very bad things. And I have been known to throw in something once in a while, but I try to make sure it's not breakable. And, I'm not going to hurt anybody. I don't hurt people, but
you're partially Italian.
But it hurts me. It hurts me. And I also think it adds to the violence and the energy around me. I believe that all that has, there's energy around us, and you choose which one you want to feed. We have several animals in us. We have the peaceful one. We have the raging one. It's an Indian actually saying, a Native American thing. Which one, do you feed? Do you feed the anger? Do you feed?
Yeah, but you know what? What do American Indians have to be angry about? They got their reservations. They got their fried bread. They're happiest.
They got the casinos.
Yeah.
I'm watching Outlander now. They have a lot to be upset about.
Hey, but I was just reminded. I don't know why I was reminded of the thing I was going to ask you when we talked about Spoggy, which of course I meant Spotty. Do you have a George Abbott story?
Sure.
When I was on your toes. He was directing.
Well, it's actually before that. He sent me a fan letter when I was doing My Fair Lady. A beautiful. I have it, and I read it. And I think I read it in this show. I'm not sure, but I think I read it. And he said that he appreciated my performance. I didn't succumb to hokum. That's a Mr. Abbott word. And he has very Puritan. He was gorgeous, Mr. At 96, I sang at his 96th birthday celebration at the Schubert Theater. I was sandwiched in between Liza and Shirley MacLaine. This is when I was doing Fair Lady. It was heady. And when I sang his favorite song, Anna Sasenko was a famous producer back then. She did the whole thing. And she hired me to sing Falling in Love with Love. And I did this incredible version that was arranged by a guy named Colin Romoff, who was a beautiful player and arranger at the time. And when I finished singing it, in between Shirley and Liza, there was not a sound. And it terrified me. And then suddenly, from nowhere, this rumble from the back of the theater started. This hitting the boards and standing up, and I got my first standing O. That's what it was that was happening. I thought I did something wrong. I didn't know. I mean, I was innocent in a lot of ways and very green. So that was pretty swell. So Mr. Abbott had a real affection for my performing. And he had me come to his offices. He was Hal Prince's mentor, if you remember. And
It's just going to a place where I think...
Go to that dark, yeah.
Yeah.
So he offered me 3 different shows, and I said no right to his face because I didn't like the writing. And I don't know how I sounded then. I don't know how arrogant I was. I really liked him, so I think I was kind. I just said, I don't think it's right for me, Mr. Abbott, or whatever. And then, but I think he labeled me a little difficult. And then when On Your Toes happened, he offered me the part right away. And I said, no, because I thought I was too old to be an ingenue. You know, at a certain point, you think it's never going to end. You know, the offers will always come in, and they still were coming in. And I thought I was too old to be, I was only 29, and I looked 10 years younger. And anyway, but I told Dina about it, Meryl, because she was good friends. She called him George. Nobody called him George. And I said, go check this out, Dina. There's a great part, and there was a wonderful part for her in there of a benefactress, a rich benefactress, and she always wanted to sing. She had adopted me. She had made me her, I called her, she was my fairy stage mother. She had taken me into her life, into her home. I visited her in East Hampton. We had this special, beautiful time. She was cultivating me because I was so backward. She was trying to make me into a star, a worthy star,
yes.
a leading lady, somebody who took responsibility for those words. Anyway, so I told her about it. She got the gig, and she pulled a fast one. She said, I want you, Chris, come down and check me out. We're in Kennedy Center, and I'm not sure how I'm doing. And I go down to check Dean out, and I'm whisked backstage to the musical director, to John Malcheri. They're checking the keys. I'm trying on the other girls. She just wasn't working out, the girl they hired, and you know, the whole 9 yards. And I ended up joining the show and having the most wonderful time, sharing and dressing with Dina, and later on Kitty Carlisle Hart. So I was with royalty.
I just don't know why, you know, so many people, when they put on their resume, I can play 30 to 50, I can do this, I can do, you are like, you're making the director's decision for them in a negative way.
I know. It's because, again, I thought I have to move forward with my catalog, my resume, I have to play leading lady. I thought it was time for leading ladies, not little girls just waking up, you know. Although Liza is hardly a little girl waking up. Laurie is waking up, but Laurie's a very particular, she's not an ingenue. She's particular who she is. Most ingenues, even Julie in Carousel, she's not an ingenue. They're written for sopranos, but they're not, I never thought of them as ingenues, really.
They're not soubrettes, per se.
But Frankie Frayne and On Your Toes was much more ingenue-y, you know, much more a stereotype, with fabulous songs, you know, so, you know, and it was great to do. So I forget.
Is there a role that you turned down that you wish you had taken? What would that be?
I was asked to do Little Night Music. And at the time I...
Wait, where? On Broadway?
No, it was in Westport, but it was being directed, and the name, at the moment I'm thinking, who wanted me to do? Beautiful director. The name is escaping me because I think I shoved these. Yeah, you're not going to remember either, but beautiful man. And I said no because I had a prior commitment, which I could have broken. But again, loyal, stupid. So there goes, you know, send in the clowns.
Oh, so you were giving Armfelt at that. This would have been more recent. You were not playing, this was an Armfelt thing.
Yeah, no, it was the one who sends in the clowns.
No, but I'm saying, I didn't realize at what stage of your career this was. Were you still playing soubrettes, or were you playing,
No,
were you old enough to do Armfelt?
Maybe 15 years ago.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
So.
Oh, well.
Anyway.
So you can always put a Sondheim song or 2 or 3 in your cabaret act.
Oh, I do. I sing Send in the Clowns all the time. I know what it's about. I get it. A lot of people they don't. Even Sinatra said, I don't got it, but I think I got it now. On some recording, he recorded. I didn't know what it meant then. I know what it is now. A lot of singers overdo it, overact it. It's a very quiet song.
Well, yeah, and written technically sort of for a non-singer, even though you are certainly
course, Glenn.
a singer. Yeah. By the way, she's quite a singer, and if you want to hear her
Desiree,
sing,
Desiree.
By the way, you know, we're almost running out of time here with the interview. You were going to bring your husband, Martin Silvestri.
Yo,
on.
Martin!
Where the hell is he? Bring him on.
Come
Hello.
here and make trouble.
Okay,
Trouble's coming. Get ready.
I see your biggest fan. It's spinning behind you. She was a fan on the thing. That's comedy right there. But while he's coming in, remember you can see her most importantly on the way to Iceland on a cruise from August 3rd.
If you can swim really well,
in cold.
breaststroke, I advise. Yes.
But more importantly, first of all, she has a couple of CDs out, including one for her Edith Piaf show.
I have an LP. I have an LP of Edith Piaf, a collector's item. Again, my producer, Martin Silvestri, did a limited edition, only 300, and they're half gone. And I have a DVD of the show that my daughter, who's a filmmaker, did.
Oh, I know you had other children. Hello, Martin Silvestri. Shalom to you.
Shalom, shalom. You're having too much fun in here without me.
I know.
How are you?
Oh, it is good to see you. Boy, you look Italian. You look like an Italian man. So, from your perspective, when did you realize that you were you knew she had talent, obviously. When did you realize you were in love, thump, with Christine Andreas?
That's a good question. I got to think.
Was it because of my beautiful notes that eventually came out of my throat?
No. That was not one.
I let him on even
didn't
with my
fall.
singing.
When we started working together, we didn't even live in the same city. I was in Los Angeles and she was in New York. So it wasn't until she called me and said, can you come back and work with me? I want to put a whole new show together. And I did. And each day was so easy. And she was so kind and sweet and loving that I found myself with the song Falling. And
yeah. And I mean, you as you had mentioned, you had a couple of marriages that would it take a while for you to do? Why didn't you just live in sin?
We did.
We did. No, we did. And I kept saying, after 2 years, I said, let's get married. This is working. This is lovely. And I don't know whether she didn't want to jinx it. A lot of people feel that, but it was Christine going, no, I've done it twice.
It took
it was
a few
not
years
good.
for me to calm down.
A few years?
I was post-traumatic stress
years.
for those 20 years of bad road with those other guys.
We've been together, this coming year will be 35 years, and half of them were, as you said, living in sin, and the other 17 were married. So
legit and kosher and all of that. So tell us something that won't embarrass her. Tell us something that she wouldn't tell about herself.
Oh my God.
Or will embarrass her. I don't care. I don't know you guys.
Okay, let me think about that.
What a good question, but I wouldn't know what to say.
She has a really bad temper.
I said
No, she actually owned up to that. She said
She's like a little flint. It goes away real quick, but boy, she can just rise from 85 degrees to 165, medium rare, and boom.
So I'm sorry, was one of your marriages actually abusive? Is that I didn't know.
No, psychically.
Oh well, yeah. All marriages are
Emotionally.
psychically abusive. Even yours. Come on, every marriage is psychically
Here.
abusive.
I know.
But
Testadora.
she's what people don't realize. I mean, she's had this wonderful career, but the amount of time she devotes to her special needs boy amazed me. And I'll tell you a little story. I have a daughter that's just a few months younger than Mac. So when I met Christine, they were 4 years old. And we often spent time with Emily in our presence and in our loft
Almost
downtown.
every weekend.
And then something long vacations and more. So as a little children, Emily allowed her to see a typical child along with her, and the growth of a typical child, which wasn't being exhibited by Mac. But I watched her before we were married, and this was early on. I mean, this is in the first year of relationship. I'm watching how kind, and she's playing with Emily and building night tents and all this, and I'm going, she's putting on a show for me to show me she could be, you know what? 35 years later,
I'm still building tents.
She's the best. She's the best mother. She was adored by both my daughters, especially Emily. She treats her like a second mother, and I'm very proud of that. Both for that my children realized that there was no reason to stop loving their own mother, but also that they had this special bonus of an incredibly talented and as her mother used to say to her, Emily, I'm your mother, not your playmate. And Christine used to say, I'm your playmate, not your mother. So Emily had the best of both worlds. And that's really something sweet I can say about
And then
Christine.
she makes
And
movies.
genuinely so, you know.
She makes movies, and my son can't read or write. Isn't that
Sometimes
curious?
having a 4-year-old for 35 years is kind of tough on me because, you know, I didn't expect that. And Christine gives me a little way, but he's a lesson to learn, you know.
And he's here almost every weekend. So Marty,
He's a mitzvah in
gives
many
a lot.
ways, you know. You learn things, you know.
What word? I've never heard that word before.
It's an
know.
Italian. It's an
Big Eva?
Italian.
What?
It's an Italian word meaning buon compleanno. It's
Oh, God, yeah. Now, Christine, before we let you guys go, because you're so wonderful together, what's something really, really embarrassing about Marty?
really embarrassing.
No, I'm kidding. Or something wonderful, or something funny, or something, some
my
anecdote.
God, something wonderful about you.
No, embarrassing.
Wonderful.
Either one. Oh, good.
Smart.
Oh, wait. Actually, no. I'll take that. You think about that, Christine, while I ask Martin about Mel Torme's story.
Oh yeah, he wants to hear the Mel story.
Oh,
Why don't you
the-
sit? Do you want to sit down?
No, I'm okay.
Nah, he can stand.
The Torme story was great. I'm chasing Mel Torme all over because was doing a spot. He was going to sing. Was it? You go to my head like. What was, no. That was one of the. That was one, but that wasn't the original. It doesn't really matter what it was. It was a classic Sinatra tune. He was doing it for. Oh, Young at Heart. That's what it was. The song "Fairy Tales Can Come True." And so they said, okay, we're recording Mel in London. I had a company then. I had 2 partners, and we were doing a lot of work for TV and advertising. And I said, okay, when? We're going February, blah, blah, blah. Okay, book the tickets. 3 or 4 days before Mel's no longer in London, we're not going to London. Okay, where are we going? We're going to LA next week. Okay, we booked that ticket. No, Mel's not in LA, he's in Vegas. So now we go and I try to find a studio in Vegas that can house 36 musicians. And believe it or not, there isn't a recording studio in Las Vegas, which really surprised me. There are recording studios, but nothing big. I thought with all the stars over the years, you would just assume there'd be recording studios. The guys wanted to work there, guys that lived there, Wayne Newton, all those people. Anyway, we ended up recording the song in the morning without Mel and having him come on at a little studio in a town called Pahrump, Nevada, which is
Pahrump, Nevada?
True story. Pahrump, Nevada, which is about an hour outside of Vegas, and we drive through the desert, and all the dead bodies buried there, and we get to the studio, and there's Torme, and he's like just trying to get out of there. I can see he's like, I do this thing, I'm going to collect a nice check and get out of here, and so he goes in the studio. Yeah, hi, I'm Mel, blah, 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 and he sings, and he listens to the track. Goes, nice track, let's do it. And he starts singing, and he sings it, and he did it about 2 or 3 times, and he said, all right, let's take one. We took 1, took 2, and then he said, okay, I think you got it. He was telling me, as the producer, he got it. And I said, yeah, except he had gone flat in the bridge, slightly flat on a note, but it was there. And in those days, we didn't have, the correcto gizmo that you can do and just bring him up. So I said, I would just like to get one more. And he goes, why? And I said, oh, well, because, well, you know what, you don't have to do the whole thing. I'd just like to get, where? I said, well, like bar 18 there, 19, I just like to catch a little bit of that. He goes, you mean where I went flat? I said, exactly where you went flat. And he says, okay. He then spent the next hour perfecting this for me because he just realized I wasn't pulling his chain, so to speak, and that I knew actually that I caught him, right? And then he was appearing there. He said, so you're coming to my show tonight? I said, I can't stay in Vegas. I don't have a room. There was a big fight going on. He said, hold on. And he calls the hotel, he calls the MGM, he says, I get 4 suites. 3 of them are empty. I want one for my producer here, Martin Silvestri. He got me a thing. He invited me to the show. We had dinner, and we became friends. Every time he was at Carnegie Hall, he said, meet me in the green room after the show. I took my other wife there. It was a thrill. My regret to this story is that I didn't know Christine Andreas at the time because he would have adored her. He would have said, oh, my God, and nothing would have been better for me to say.
I would have been Lady Gaga to Mel Torme.
Mel sing. I mean, he would have adored her because she has that kind of quality. And anyway, that was Mel, and he was a sweet guy, and he would call me, go, anything cooking? What do you got? Because he ended up doing about 3 or 4 spots with me, and he loved doing them. I guess he made some money too,
No, but obviously, like a kingship, he liked you.
But a good man, and what a talent. I mean, to watch him perform, and now I look at some of his YouTubes with George Shearing, and I'm blown away. We actually honor him with we do Nightingale sang in Berkeley Square, which he does with just shearing, no band, no bass player, nothing. And I love that chart so much that I said I'm going to redo it for you, and she does that. One of my faves.
It's in our show.
And in fact, in his honor, you do Young at Heart and you go flat during the bridge. So that's, you intentionally go flat, which is not easy to do.
Exactly. Just to embarrass it.
Well, what lovely stories, what lovely, lovely people. We've been talking with Christine Andreas and musical director as well as husband, Martin Silvestri. You can see their work. How are you involved in Swonderful? Are you the music director?
I'm at the keyboard. I do a couple songs with her, I vocally.
You
and
put it together with me.
It's all my arrangements. So yeah, it's a nice show.
I'm the envy of every girl singer because I have an in-house producer, arranger, accompanist. You know, in the middle of the night, I go, honey, I got it. I figured out the ending of the song. You know, it's 4 o'clock in the morning.
You know who Elaine Page is, right? Elaine Page.
Who was Elaine Page?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did her. She had a TV show on Sky TV, and she flew us over to do it because she's a big fan of Christine's. And so she said exactly that. You're his arranger, and he does your charts, and he conducts for you, and he is your husband. She says, you have a brother?
And actually, I could use a proctologist. Are you by any chance or do?
No, I don't.
He keeps talking about that.
Well, the proctologist?
Yeah, because she was telling me about prune juice and flax and things.
Oh my God! He's talking to the right person. Forget about that. Not for me.
Not for myself.
I'm just a glass of wine and a nice plate of pasta. I'm simple.
Sounds kosher as long as it's Manischewitz wine and Streit's pasta. You're on. You're down.
Now I can say. I can say my one thing to you. Lahitrot.
What again?
Lahitrot.
Lahitrot. We hope to see you soon. We hope to see them this weekend, July 30th and 31st at 54 Below on 54th Street under Studio 54 doing wonderful. It's wonderful to have you both in the Daverhood. Shalom to you.
Shalom.
Thank you, Rabbi Sol.
Bye.
Bye-bye. And it is wonderful to be here with you live on this Saturday morning, Shabbos morning, July 25th, 2026. Wasn't that lovely talking to Christine Andreas and Martin Silvestri? It's why I love doing this Dave's Gone By program, talking to delightful, funny, talented people. But I also do some other stuff, including, I have a rabbinical reflection coming up about that freaky animal thing, the Jimothy. But before we get to that later in the program, let's do story time. This is where I, or sometimes Dave, but mostly me, read a pre-written story written by somebody else to you who are somebody else. And I can do commentary. Sometimes I have dysentery. It's fun. This week's story, Have you filled a bucket today? I certainly did this morning because I was drinking that prune juice. A guide to daily happiness for kids. Let me tell you something. As a child myself, many tekaluf years ago, children are never actually happy. They seem, they're in the playground, they're playing, they're miserable as shit. We always think, children, kids, they're having a wonderful, I wish I was a kid, and you don't wish you were a kid again. You just don't remember how awful it was to be a kid. But, anywho, here's a book. It's by Carol McCloud, illustrated by David Messing. I don't know if he's related to Deborah Messing, who is one of my heroes for being so pro-Israel. God bless her. This is not her. This is him, David Messing, and Carol McCloud, the authoress of this book, which comes from Bucket Philosophy Books. I don't know what the hell that should tell you about. Let's see. It's an imprint. This explains everything. Bucket Philosophy is an imprint of Bucket Filters, Inc. Oh, hold it. One moment, please. Bucket Fillers, Inc. That's very different. Alrighty. In the 1960s, Dr. Donald O. Clifton first created the Dipper and Bucket story. Sounds filthy, doesn't it? Dipper and Bucket, that has now been passed along for decades. He went on to co-author the #1 New York Times bestseller, How Full Is Your Bucket? And he was named the father of strengths psychology. I've never heard of any of this. So a portion of the proceeds from this book is being donated to the Salvation Army. Copyright 2006 and then renewed in 2016. Enough people bought this book that it's back in print, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm not going to read this introduction. I don't give a... Let's get to the book itself, shall we? We shall. All day long, everyone in the whole wide world walks around carrying an invisible bucket. That's called psychosis. You can't see it, but it's there. That's called cancer. You have a bucket. Each member of your family has a bucket. And you see, there they are. I don't know why there's green stuff coming out of the bucket. They kind of need to wash and disinfect that bucket. Probably has cyclosporin growing in it. Your grandparents, friends, and neighbors all, guess what they have? I'll wait. Yep, buckets. Everyone carries an invisible bucket. I'm wondering if this book has another point. Your bucket has one purpose only. Its purpose is to hold your good thoughts and your good feelings about yourself. All right, that's very nice. What I don't understand here, there's a lot of weird things going on with this. She's happy. She's got a little bucket. He's going to step on this and hurt himself. Not to mention, why is he scratching his nuts? I understand. If he was a 60-year-old man, I would completely understand why he's going around scratching his ball sack. But he's way too young for this kind of behavior. You feel happy and good when your bucket is full, and you feel sad and lonely when your bucket is empty. Other people feel the same way too. That's why they have a bucket list. They're happy when their buckets are full, and you just said that. I fucking hate these children's books when they have to reiterate what they've already made perfectly clear, even to a 3-year-old child. Yes, they're happy when their buckets are full, and they're sad when their buckets are empty. Thank you. It's great to have a full bucket, and this is how it works. First, you install the catheter. No. Other people can fill your bucket, and you can fill theirs. And this is why they created Tinder. You can fill your own bucket too. So, how do you fill a bucket? You fill a bucket when you show love to someone, when you say or do something kind, or even when you give someone a smile. So here, I'm giving you a bucket. Right? That's being a bucket filler. Meanwhile, I don't know what the hell. So she's filling a bucket. The bucket is spuging its way across her midsection. This is actually how she lost her virginity. It's horrible. A bucket filler is a loving, caring person who says and does nice things to make others feel special. When you treat others with kindness and respect, you fill their bucket. I'm fine with everything here, including lesbian grandma with her rainbow bucket, but what's with where are they? Where are they that she's wearing the bunny slippers outside what's wrong with them? But you can also dip into a bucket and take out some good feelings. You dip into a bucket when you make fun of someone, when you say or do mean things, or even when you ignore someone. That is called bucket dipping, which is what most of us do most of the day, intentionally or not. Bullying is bucket dipping. So when you hurt others, you dip into their bucket, but you will dip into your own bucket too. I don't understand. If you're hurting and bullying other people and it makes you feel better, it's not nice for their bucket, but I don't know. Isn't it loading up your bucket? Let's find out, shall we? Many people who dip have an empty bucket. So they may think they can fill their own bucket by dipping into someone else's, but that will never work. You never fill your own bucket when you dip into somebody else's. All right, yes, they're making the point. It's a good point, actually, that they're making. He's at the lunchroom counter. He's basically put someone's food all over the floor, which, considering school lunchrooms, is actually doing them a mitzvah. It's not really bullying. This is just sparing them cyclosporidia. But guess what? Guess what? When you fill someone's bucket, you fill your own bucket too. Because you feel good when you help others feel good. I get that. That's nice. All right. Not even going to make fun of that. Because I don't want to tear away from Carol McCloud's bucket. All day long, we are either filling up or dipping into each other's buckets by what we say and what we do. Try to fill a bucket and see what happens. This is a good idea. Go to someone on the street that you don't know, give them a big happy smile, and tell them, oh boy, you've got nice boobs. Say this to a man. Oh, you've got nice boobs. And see if it doesn't fill their bucket and if they don't try to stuff yours. You love your mom and dad. Why not tell them you love them? You can even tell them why. Look, Mommy, you shoved me out of your birth canal. Thank you, I love you. Your caring words will fill their buckets with joy. More good advice. Watch for smiles to light up their faces. You will feel like smiling too. A smile is a good clue that you have filled a bucket. Well, look at it in this adorable. I would just get dizzy with all this crap swirling around. Why? It's a bucket. Why is there always stuff flying in and out of it? Leave it alone. If you practice, you will become a great bucket filler. Just remember that everyone carries an invisible bucket, and think of what you can say or do to fill it. End of book, right? You've made your point. No, there's more. Let's hammer home the point another million times. Here are some ideas for you. I'll have some ideas for you. You could smile and say hi to the bus driver. Jump in front of the bus while he's driving and just make his day. He's going 35 miles an hour. He's run in front of the bus and go, hi! See what happens to your bucket. He has a bucket too. And at that point, no longer a job. You could invite the new kid at school to play with you. And this is why we have restraining orders. See, there you go, look at that. And unfortunately, if you invite him to play soccer, that's emptying his bucket. You could write a thank you note to your teacher. That would be seen as bribery, and she would have to report it to the higher-ups at the Board of Education, and there goes your scholarship. You could tell your grandpa that you like spending time with him. Yes, bullshit, Grandpa. Teach yourself how to bullshit and make people think that you actually enjoy spending time with them. There are many ways to fill a bucket. It's called becoming a knowing and willful hypocrite. And your bucket's just going to go like crazy. Bucket filling is fun and easy to do. Doesn't matter how young or old you are. And it doesn't cost money. All right, I'm Jewish. I'm down. It doesn't cost money. And it doesn't take much time. And remember, if I hear this one more time. And remember, when you fill someone else's bucket, you fill your own bucket. When you're a bucket filler, you make your home, your school, and your neighborhood better places for all. Bucket filling makes everyone feel good. And also, bucket filling makes everyone feel good. Come to think of it. And I do think of it. Is that it? No, it's not it. There's one more goddamn page. Yes, I did. That's the life of a bucket filler. Oh, look at that. She needs to shop for, she's outgrowing that pajama set, if you know what I'm saying here. And then, look at this. The life of a bucket filler And that's you. Look at it. Frosted Lucky Charms. They're magically delicious. Is there any more about... Oh, let's learn about the author, Ms. McCloud, the bucket lady, and her bucket fillers team teach the importance of bucket filling to educators, businesses, community groups, churches, and children. All right, churches, no synagogues, so she just took a dip out of my bucket right there. As an early childhood specialist, she understands the patterns affecting self-worth and that they start early and are fostered by others. She's president, go figure, of Bucket Fillers, Inc., which, self-publication, my God, an educational organization in Brighton, Michigan. They want to create bucket-filling families, schools, workplaces, and communities. Now she lives, or at least at the time of publication, in Venice, Florida, with her husband, Jack. And there's a website, bucketfillers101.com. Here's the illustrator, because it's a nicely drawn and colorful book. He's a lifelong artist, illustrator, cartoonist, sculptor, writer, and instructor. In fact, for 30 years, Dave Messing, along with his wife, Sandy, and then they have 3 children, Mazel Tov, have taught in their family-owned art school. This is the modern world. Nobody works for anybody else anymore. Everybody scrapes together $10 by making their own publishing companies and their own schools. Although Dave spent many years designing and building props, sets, and miniatures for film and print commercials, and almost every auto manufacturer, his current passion is cartooning and book illustration. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's just go to the back page here for juvenile nonfiction. This heartwarming book encourages positive behavior by using the concept of an invisible bucket to show children how easy, here's mine, and rewarding it is to express kindness, appreciation, and love. This is an updated and revised 10th anniversary edition, helping children realize bucket dipping is negative and it is possible to fill or dip into our own buckets. And here's a whole list of other books by this company. Let's take a look. Let's see what the McClouds have been up to over the past decade or so. There's Growing Up with a Bucket Full of Happiness, My Bucket Filling Journal, Bucket Filling from A to Z. You know, you have one idea. One idea. It's like chicken soup. Chicken soup for the soul. Okay, I get chicken soup for the entrepreneur. Chicken soup for the actor. Chicken soup for the child rapist. It's like, stop. Bucket dippers and libs. What? Lids. Secrets to Your Happiness. Oh, I don't know. Will you fill my bucket? Gotta find that one. Will you fill my bucket? That should be my opening line if I ever date, if God forbid my missus passes away. Fill a bucket, baby's bucket book, and of course a bucket filling from A to Z. One is my very own bucket filling from A to Z. I guess this is a special. I can't even read with real glasses on. It's a coloring book. Look, they have a coloring book where you can fill your bucket with color. Mine, of course, is generally yellow. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Rabbi Sol Solomon. If you want to find out more about my bucket, oh my God, it's filled with sermons that you can listen to and read at shalomdammit.com. My bucket also has 10 episodes of my TV show that I did for Long Island Cable TV years ago, Rabbi Sol Solomon's Peace, Love, and Acid Reflux Hour. My bucket also has a recording of my off-Broadway show. All of these are at my bucket of a website, shalomdammit.com. Shalom, D-A-M-M-I-T, shalomdammit.com. You can also follow me on Twitter if you feel like doing that, at Rabbi Sol Solomon, at Rabbi Sol, S-O-L, S-O-L-O-M-O-N. Lots of different ways to get solemnized and stuff my bucket. Well, it's time for me to scamper off and ready my next pour into your buckets of knowledge, because I'll be back in a little while with a new rabbinical reflection, a new sermon, talking about the very strange creature called the Jimothy that has been wandering around Seattle yards. Don't miss it. But for now, time for me to vamoose and bring back Dave, the host of this fine, fine program that we call Dave's Gone By. So let me just get my klezmer music going. Where is it? Oh, where's the music thing? Where's the goddamn hearing? Hold on. Ah, here it is. And there you are. Well, it's about 1:45 Eastern Time. Well, a quarter to what? 11:45 Eastern Time here in the Daverhood. You're watching the Dave's Gone By Facebookio, Podcastio, Programmio of the stream live on this Saturday morning, July 25th, 2026. It's our 1042nd episode of the program. We're calling it Teen Beat in honor of the delightful Christine Andreas and her husband Martin. Doesn't work quite as well as teen, but Martin Silvestri, who were so delightful to be on this program. And remember, go see them at 54 Below next weekend. Okay, what else? What else is coming up on this Dave's Gone By? We got more wonderful stuff for you. We have Rabbi Sol coming back, as he said, with a rabbinical reflection about Jimothy. We also have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, where we're going to Cornish, Colorado, for an evil, disgusting poem. And our brand new parody song, I'm Gonna Use That Girl, a Beatles parody created by yours truly. But ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, or even fivemost, let me see, before, as often happens now at my age, and in the half hour or an hour preceding this program, and sometimes while the program is going on, I get like dry and itchy and scratchy in my throat. And it's not a cold, and it's not even allergy or anything. It's just me being 62 and having undergone COVID a few years back. And it wasn't a bad bout of COVID, but it's left me, I think, with long COVID that sometimes presents itself in different ways. Or it's just old Jewish man disease, because I'll get phlegm in like my chest and to my throat. And to get from the chest to the throat, to talk and try and hawk and bring and hook and poke. I should drink that thing that Russians used to do, that old Eastern European, I guess Ashkenazic tradition, where you take like warm buttermilk and honey and cayenne pepper and you try something like that and drink it, and within 5 minutes, like a blimp of phlegm just sails out of your throat. Well, I didn't have that. But I did have a little bit of phlegm today that I brought up just before the show started. And what I like to do is a segment called My Old Phlegm. And that is where I share so much with you. I share my bunions, I share my jokes, I share my embarrassing stories from my life. Why not share my phlegm? But what's interesting is that today I hawked up a small bit and it's almost completely dried. Now, what I also do is I read the phlegm, kind of like tea leaves, kind of Linus and Charlie Brown and Lucy staring at the sky when they're on the baseball mound and seeing what shapes the clouds are. What shape is Dave's phlegm today? My old phlegm. I should have done this while it was still wet, because this is difficult. This I can't really, I'm looking close, I'm looking far. Like so many of them, they kind of look just like a fish. Here's one. It sort of looks like a guppy, right? No matter which way I turn it also. So there's the tail, right? There's sort of the body, because guppies, especially if they're pregnant, they have that wide body, and then there's the head. If I turn it around, sometimes you turn around and the phlegm looks completely different. If I put no, that doesn't help. If I do that like that, doesn't really look like anything. No, kind of looks like a guppy again. Look, I'll make it swim across the camera. So, yes, it's guppy phlegm today on my old phlegm on Dave's Gone By. Well, I'm glad we got through that. And I only do that segment when my wife is not in the room because half the things I do make her nauseous in the first place. But whenever I do my old phlegm, she literally has to jump away and run. So my old phlegm is done. There's nothing more disgusting. Well, yes, we have our Colorado Limerick up the dam, which is disgusting. But anyway, that's coming up on Dave's Gone By. But before then, since we talked with Christine Andreas, who's such a fine, fine singer, and talks so much about great singers, right? Like Piaf and Judy Garland and Mel Torme. I'm not anywhere near in that category, as you'll hear, but I try. I make my effort, and a lot of times, especially recently, I've been going back to making song parodies. Popular tunes I grew up with, folk music, whatever, and it'll just strike me. And I can take the song and do an Alan Sherman with it, or Weird Al kind of thing. I don't quite have Weird Al's chops as a musician or his amazing band, nor do I have the orchestra section that Alan Sherman had, but I've got Audacity, I've got iMovie to turn it into a visual sort of a thing. So ladies and gentlemen, my latest song parody, I'm going to use that girl, based on the Beatles song, You're Gonna Lose That Girl. The thing I didn't even realize when I finished the song this week was that about 10 years ago, I had already done another parody. I never played it on the show. I never recorded it, called I'm Gonna Piss Myself. And it's all about a guy who's going to pee himself. This is actually a lot closer to the Beatles' original intent of that song, of a guy saying, hey, if you don't treat that woman right, I will. And you're going to lose her. You're going to lose that girl. Mine is quite a bit more explicit. So let me share my screen for the debut of the brand new Dave's Gone By Beatles parody. I'm going to use that girl. Get the kids out of the room, please. I'm gonna use that girl. Yes, he's gonna use that girl. Until you lose. Yes, he's gonna use that girl. If you don't do her right tonight, you will be dumped and fast. You will be dumped and fast. We'll bill and coo by candlelight, then I will pump her ass. He's gonna pump her ass. I'm gonna use that girl. Yes, he's gonna use that girl. You don't amuse. Yes, you don't amuse that girl. If you don't make her come tonight, she's gonna pack her shit. She's gonna pack her shit. And then I'll do her where she's tight and just demolish He's it. Gonna pound her clit. You're gonna lose that girl. Yes, you're gonna lose that girl. 'Cause I'll abuse that girl. That girl. You're gonna lose. I'll make her see you're nothing but a wimp. Yeah. When she's with me, I'll treat her like a pimp. I'm gonna schmooze that girl. He's gonna schmooze that girl until you lose. Yes, you're gonna lose that girl until you lose. I'm sorry, dude. I know rejection hurts. Rejection hurts. I'll get her nude and spank her till she squirts. I'm gonna do her all night long until she's good and sore. Until she's good and sore. And by the time she staggers home, she's gonna be my whore. Yes, she's gonna be your whore. I'm gonna use that girl. Yes, you're gonna use that girl. Until you lose. Yes, it's that girl. I'm gonna use that girl. Yeah. So if I haven't said it before, you can send your complaint letters to davesgoneby@aol.com. davesgoneby@aol.com. You can also, of course, message me on Facebook or post right to my Facebook page. Either way, of course, I love hearing from you, even your complaints, even your anti-Semitic rants, because those are the most fun to respond to. But yeah, davesgoneby@aol.com, or even if you give me thumbs up, thumbs down, cute emojis and gifs, or as Steve the Whistler did very first part of the show, where he sent a clip of himself performing Love to Be in Contact with the friends and fans of the Daverhood, you guys out there. Speaking of friends of the Daverhood, we call those, we also use that term for folks who not only love the show, but who have been on this program, our guests, over the past 23 and a half years. So whether they were on last week, last month, or back in like the early aughts, where it was like, hey, what's happening? You were on our show all those years ago. Are you in a new off-Broadway play? Did you put out a new album? Did you write a new book? What are you up to? Are you teaching somewhere? What's happening with you? Well, we keep tabs on the friends of the Daverhood. They're kind of our family, and this is how we do it. So thank you, Franz Joseph Haydn. Friends of the Neighborhood, just what's going on with the folks who've been on our show. For example, hey, congratulations to musician Richard Barone. He has a new single out called I'm Only Human. So go looking for Richard Barone on the interwebs and hear his songs. Today, Saturday, July 25th, remember to go see Lisa Faith Phillips and Deanna Kirk. Both of them have been on the show in their tribute to Cole Porter. The show is Let's Fall in Love, and they're doing it at Pangea. That is tonight. On Tuesday, Stevie Holland. Oh, I don't have a potato here. Oh, my, of all days not to have a potato, Stevie Holland is doing her show at 54 Below, and it's called Talk to Your Tomatoes, after the single that she released a while back called Talk to Your Tomatoes with a video. If you haven't seen it, look up Stevie Holland. I know her name is male-ish, but Stevie Holland, Talk to Your Tomatoes. Find it on YouTube. It's a lot of fun. And hear her sing that song and so many more when she is at 54 Below on Tuesday night. On Wednesday, the 29th, Linda Eder is at 54 Below. On Friday, Jessica Scher, still doing Betty Davis Ain't for Sissies. She's done more than 500 performances of this solo show, and this one will be at the Laurie Beachman Theater on the Midtown, or in Midtown on the West Side. Now, through the beginning of August, Hamilton Clancy is directing As You Like It for Shakespeare in the parking lot on the Lower East Side. Now, also through early August, Molly Ringwald is in the Eric Bentley play Are You Now or Have You Ever Been? And that is at City Center over on West 55th Street. Tova Feldshuh, you can hear her voice recorded voice in A Walk on the Moon, a musical at the Laura Pels Theater in Midtown. And playing now through early September, Dakin Matthews is in a revival of Wendy Wasserstein's play An American Daughter at the Irene Diamond stage. Now through, as long as she intends to stay, Debbie Gravitt is on Broadway in Just in Time, in Circle in the Square. Pardon me. Excuse me. Anne Harada in Schmigadoon at the Nederlander Theater, and Andre de Shields is in Cats, the Jellicle Ball, but that is closing soon, so make your plans. Evan Seplow is the founder and editor of StageBuggy.com, a site of New York nightlife. Big shout out to him. Great friend of the Daverhood. Vicky Quaddy does her shows like Are You Smarter Than Your 8th Grade Nun and Late Night Catechism, all around the Chicagoland area. Want to remind you that Charlie Gross and Leslie Hoban Blake host Two on the Aisle, a theater review TV program that you can watch on YouTube. Look for them, and also look for High Drama, Eva Heinemann's theater review program. Again, you can see that on YouTube and other platforms as well. And let us also not forget that on Sunday evenings, Everything Old is New Again. You can listen to that on WBAI. And I thought I could do this from memory. I'm blanking on the man's name, but it is this weekly show of cabaret and American standards music that has been on BAI for a couple of decades now. Let me just find his name again. It's and oldisnew.org is the website for it. It's David Kenny. Of course, it's David Kenny. So go give a listen, and those, my friends, are the friends of the Daverhood. Thank you very much, Franz Joseph. Okay, it is just a little tiny, weeny bit in the afternoon, 12:02 Eastern Time in the Daverhood. I'm Dave Lefkowitz. You've been watching Dave's Gone By. Are we done? Are we through with the show? Almost, but not quite. We're a 3-hour show, but we tend to go a little bit on the overtime because we have so much fun to do. I mean, we've done a lot, right? We did a bunch today. We had My Old Phlegm. We had Non-Greeley Times. We talked with the wonderful Christine Andreas and Martin Silvestri. Remember that next, the 30th and 31st, they're going to be at 54 Below. We had Storytime with Have You Filled Your Bucket Today and Rabbi Sol Solomon. We played, we had the new song parody of the Beatles' I'm Gonna Use That Girl. We played that. And remember, you can hear all of these things by going to davesgoneby.com, our website. And we've even, there are two things we haven't done yet. We haven't done our Colorado Limerick of the Dam, but we've got to bring the rabbi back for, I knew we were forgetting something else, for Jimothy. That's right. We talked about it earlier in the show, and it's all anybody's been talking about, this weird raccoon that has gone viral just for being weirdly raccoonish. Rabbi Sol does these rabbinical reflections. They're mini sermons about life, the world, Judaism, and sometimes very often all tangled together. So we gave him this platform. Did you hear my burp? We give him this platform on the show to do and reach a much wider audience than his synagogue, which is in the back of a gas station. So yeah, this is his way of bringing virality to his sermons, to his rabbinical reflections. So let me share my screen one more time, because Rabbi Sol pre-recorded this earlier in the week, actually yesterday I think it was. Here he is espousing his thoughts on the rise, the glory that is Jimothy. Shalom, damn it! This is Rabbi Sol Solomon with a rabbinical reflection for late July 2026. What happy things occurred this year to take our minds off the miserable state of the world? The New York Knicks, America doing okie dokie in FIFA, Travis Kelce making an honest woman of Taylor Swift, Democrats magically realizing that a lech with a Nazi tattoo might not be the best senatorial candidate, even for progressives. I mean, they wanted a socialist, but a national socialist? All of these were bright spots in a brown year. The latest distraction from doomsday may not be the most dramatic, but it is the cutest. Last week on social media, a raccoon lumbering across backyards in Seattle went viral. In fact, people thought the animal was viral because he was a mess. A hunchback with a foreshortened spine, the beast lovingly nicknamed Jimothy. looked like a cross between a squirrel and a midget gorilla. And yet, although goofy looking, this rodent with a pudgy body and a stubby tail was doing everything raccoons normally do, sneaking around, foraging, forcing suburbanites to double bag their garbage. And here lies the conundrum of Jimothy. Raccoons are viewed as a nuisance. They're beautiful creatures, but in your backyard or your garage or, God forbid, your chimney, that's a call to pest control. And don't let children go near them because they could be rabid. Your garden variety raccoon is the last thing you want to see in your garden. Except when you have an abnormal, deformed, genetically fucked up raccoon, then it's love. Everywhere, Jimothy, t-shirts, tattoos, murals, glass figurines. The University of Washington already has a mascot, so they couldn't adopt him. So they just gave him an honorary doctorate. Not really, but check their Instagram. So yes, people are besotted with this trash panda because he's beating the odds. He's living his best raccoon life despite being shaped like Danny DeVito. Jimothy's deformity, his homeliness, which would ordinarily set off a Darwinian instead prompts a desire to mother and protect him. So this got me thinking, which with me is always dangerous. What can Jews learn from Jimothy? I realize our problem is we've become too normal. We're so assimilated, so taken for granted for blending in, people feel no guilt for hating us. Jews hold major positions in law, entertainment, medicine, technology. We have physically gorgeous actors and actresses on TV and in movies, and we may not own all the banks, but we probably own the buildings all the banks are in. Despite our population, Jews are major players in every aspect of the world stage, which gives everyone from good old boy bigots to social justice sophomores carte blanche to harangue us with insults, falsehoods, and blame. When Israel hit back after October 7th, the world went, "What? The underdog isn't supposed to take brutal revenge. If you're not cowering in the corner, you must be the bad guys, not to mention Christ killers." So, how do we Jews counteract this latest wave of anti-us-ism? Why not go the Jimothy route? Instead of being attractive, educated, erudite, cultural, influential, and basically normal, maybe it's time for Jews to lean into the old stereotypes, lose the attributes that have helped us pass and surpass. We all want to be Paul Newman, but it's safer to be Arnold Stang. Why? People who fear commonplace raccoons adore Jimothy because he's a harmless freak. Maybe we Jews should grow our noses out, run around with scraggly beards and smelly old coats, cough and limp and crap ourselves, and get partial lobotomies to make us retarded. And then we approach our enemies with Sarah McLachlan music playing behind us and say, "Shalom! Look how helpless and wretched we are. Won't you let us live in peace in our own little country? Think of us as the Mudeng of the Middle East." Now granted, that approach might backfire. Zoran Mamdani might round up all the New York Hebes and throw them in zoos. But just maybe, if we can convince our foes to view us as pathetic Jimothys instead of powerful Jews, perhaps we'll dodge the next pogrom. This has been a rabbinical reflection from Rabbi Sol Solomon, Temple Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York. Jimothy, Jimothy, Jim Jeroo. Thank you, Rabbi Sol Solomon. The views expressed by Rabbi Sol do not necessarily, yes, of course they represent the views of the program and its host. So, for more Rabbi Sol, as you saw, shalomdammit.com. Also, since I translate and sometimes co-write some of what the rabbi does, you can find Sol's sermons, his rabbinical reflections, as well as my song lyrics, as well as the for print interviews and essays and stories that I've written over the past 40 years. All of this at my own website, davelefkowitz.org. This is different from davesgoneby.com, which is the website for the show. For my writing, my plays and my screenplays and all the other detritus and non-detritus that I've penned over the years and still pen, davelefkowitz.org. Really great spot to get the other side of me, or the side of me where it isn't just brain, mouth, out, but brain, heart, lungs, bowels, kidneys, knees, and then out. And it still usually comes out horrible and offensive, but at least there it's a honed and chiseled kind of horrible and offensive. So, davelefkowitz.org. Well, my God, it's 10, and it's almost a quarter after already, Eastern Time in the Daverhood, and we're still not finished. We still have one more thing to do on this episode of the show. Speaking of horrible and disgusting and evil and tasteless, it is our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, because my wife and I lived in Colorado for about 11 years and loved living there. One of the things that just came into my head one day is there's so many amazing places and weirdly named places in Colorado. Wouldn't it be wonderful if I wrote a poem, a comical, often dirty, vile, naughty, nasty poem about as many of these places as I can. And really, not the weirdly named ones, but the easiest ones to rhyme with. And I thought, I'll do a couple of limericks. It'll be fun. This is years and years ago. Now I have truly more than 400 Colorado limericks of the damned. And if you don't believe me, all you have to do is go on to davelefkowitz.org, look for the word limerick, and there they are in one giant file. And I add a new one every week. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have a brand new Colorado limerick of the damned for you this very week on the show, where we go to Cornish, Colorado. I'm game for that. Cornish, Colorado. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it and then read my evil poem, because that's what we do for our Colorado Limerick of the Damned.
A limerick is a comic verse of 5 lines, in which lines 1, 2, and 5 will end with words that rhyme, and likewise verses 3 and 4 also end with words that rhyme. So this is a limerick.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Rocky Mountain High we get with Cornish, Colorado. So here's I'm sure you've never heard of it, but here's a bit about it before we get to our verse. It's an unincorporated community in Weld County, so it's not very far from where my wife and I lived in Greeley. According to Wikipedia, Mr. Cornish was an engineer on the Union Pacific Railroad line that went from Greeley up to Briggsdale, Colorado, or down to Briggsdale. Briggsdale's somewhere in relation to Greeley, and a railroad used to go there. In the early 1930s, Cornish had these things called black blizzards. And I know, white people are evil because every time blacks move in, they go to the suburbs. But this is totally different. This is blizzards that blew the topsoil off the land, which made it impossible for gardeners and farmers and ranchers to do anything. However, I did also reveal all these ancient artifacts under the topsoil. As a matter of fact, in 1934, the grade school held a Stone Age fair, which showcased all these Native American artifacts that they found just because of this blizzard. Well, that 2-room schoolhouse is gone. But you know what? They still do that First Nations fair in Loveland, Colorado, which is very close to Weld County and Greeley. But that storm, as we said, it brought up all these amazing things, but it also made it hard to live there off the land. So by the mid-1940s, the railroad abandoned the line, farmers and ranchers kind of disappeared, and the post office closed in 1967, but still there. As a matter of fact, it's still an agricultural area, and there are some rural homes dotted around Cornish. So yeah, do want to check it out if you're in and around northern Colorado. Cornish Co. Is there another reason? Am I going to put Cornish, Colorado on the map? Oh, yes I am. Because we have a dirty, disgusting limerick. Is it dirty there? Oh, yeah. This one is actually depraved. Some of them are just dirty. Some of them are sick. This one's sick, dirty, and depraved. Our Colorado Limerick of the Damned for Cornish. I know an old sadist in Cornish who has quite a deviant porn wish to find pregnant women and take them all swimming, then fist them until they're unborn squish. As I mentioned, Dave's Gone By at AOL.com is the place to complain. You know, that's not even good enough. We need the full goat. That's better. Stop this. Thank you. Yeah, he's okay. So, yeah, it's our Colorado Limerick. I don't claim to be an altar boy, especially since I'm Jewish. That's the stuff. That's the stuff that comes out of the brain, out of the mouth, through the fingers. Whether you want to watch our old shows at davesgoneby.com or read my work at davelefkowitz.org, remember that our archives are also available at archive.org, castbox.fm for the audio only, in case you're on the go and you just want to listen to the show as a podcast, or Spotify, which has the video too, but is also a podcasting platform, obviously. So, we now have, I feel like every time I do this, I feel like I'm ending the Seder. We have concluded this 1042nd episode of the Dave's Gone By Show. Next week, we should be here again with a brand new 1043rd episode of this mix of humor and talk and culture and interviews and all the other stuff that we do. So, and we're lining up. We should have a guest available, but we're still working on that. We'll let you know. Best way is to check our Facebook page and davesgoneby.com. So make it a good week. The weather is spectacular. I mean, it gets a little warm in the afternoon, but nothing like what we were having for whole chunks of the summer. So please, enjoy what's out there. Enjoy nature. Enjoy, if you are growing vegetables, I hope you do better than our Jimothy. When I picked this last week, the stem was like more bulbous, and these things they've shriveled down to nothing now. This is almost like an etrog here. And it was more green. It's now turning completely yellow. This is probably about as bitter as bitters that you put in alcohol. I couldn't think of a bitter thing right there. But after 3 hours, I can barely talk, and my brain stops functioning. Think of something that's incredibly bitter. And this is probably what this tastes like. We might actually eat this weekend. We will see. I'll give you a report on the one and only cucumber that we were able to grow this entire summer so far. We're calling Jimothy in honor, of course, of Jimothy. He is the vegetable version of Jimothy that is so appropriate to anything that I try and do and grow. So good to see you. So great doing this program. We'll be back for 1043 next week right here in... Oh, I had it ready. I had it lined up and then it went away. Right here in the Daverhood.
Days gone by, there goes the day. Days gone by, there goes the day. Days gone by, there goes the
Who? Yeah, me, Dave. Dave Lefkowitz. I host the show. Who? How many people have done this bad joke over the past several centuries? Well, I'll be seeing you next time. I know. I know, let's just end things.